couple minutes late. For some reason, my brain thought this meeting was at 3:30. I was sitting here, but I got texted, like, where was I? So I'm here. We have two presentations. Kathy Moore, I don't see your face. There you are. You want to give us an update?
We might want to wait till 4 o'clock in case
the
public want to join us.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes. There she is. And you're smiling. That's good. You're muted, Kathy, when you get ready.
Okay, I'm sorry. I actually didn't hear the meeting call to order. So I think my presentation is under the,
Correct. You gotta wait.
okay.
Mark, did the meeting get called to order? Did everything get done?
No, we just did a work session, so we'll wait.
Okay.
And you gotta do 1, 2, 3.
I'll start at the beginning at 4 o'clock. I'm sorry.
I'm going to grab some water, but I'll be right back.
So somebody had called me, but can I see who called even if they didn't leave a message?
Somebody had called you and I
Did you
sent
mute?
you. Mute.
Okay, it's 4 o'clock. Call the full board meeting to order for the May 11th, 2021 meeting. Commissioner Zach Laring will do the invocation. Commissioner Laring. Zach, you got to unmute.
Lord God, we just come to you this afternoon, want to praise you and thank you for your goodness. Father, your word says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. I just pray that you would give this board wisdom and knowledge as we lead this community. We ask it in Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, thank you very much. The next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Marcia, would you like to lead us in that, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Hovey Wright. Okay, I'm not sure. Linda, are you taking the roll call?
I am, sir.
Okay, you're up.
Commissioner Brown,
Here, City of Muskegon.
Commissioner Sear,
Here, Twin Lake, Michigan.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Here, City of Muskegon.
Commissioner Hughes,
Here, Muskegon Township.
Commissioner Laring,
Here, Muskegon County Hall of Justice.
Vice Chair Nash,
Here, City of Muskegon.
Commissioner Pago,
Here, Muskegon County Hall of Justice.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Here, Muskegon County Hall of Justice.
Chairman Skolnick,
Here, City of Norton Shores.
9 present.
Hey, thank you, Linda. All right, we're moving on to the approval of the regular and closed session minutes of April 20th, 2021. If I would entertain a motion to. approve.
Mr. Chair, we have item
Item 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, skip right over that. Yes. Let's back up for a minute. Approval of the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda that's in front of you.
So moved.
Support.
Second, Hovey, right?
Okay, we have a motion. It's been supported to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion on that? If not, Linda, roll call, please.
Commissioner Brown,
Here. Oh, yes, thank you.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay. You know, at many of our meetings, other people skip over items on the agenda, and I've often wondered how that can happen. And I just found out it's very easy to do. So,
Okay, Bob.
The next item is presentations. The first one will come from the Director of Public Health, Kathy Moore.
We should probably approve the regular and
Item
closed
6,
session.
please.
Oh, I didn't do that one either? Oh, my God.
No.
Okay. So we just need to vote on that. Is that correct? Or did we do that? I don't remember.
No, let's vote on it.
Okay.
In case somebody has a question, you could
Yeah,
mention.
if anyone has, if there are any comments or questions on item 6 on the regular and closed session minutes of April 20th, now is the time. And if not, Linda, roll call, please.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago, Commissioner Pago,
She's muted.
You're muted, Melinda.
Thumbs up. Can you see her?
Linda, you want to finish it up and we'll go back, give her one last chance on that.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Okay.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
9
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you very much. Okay, now the thing I've been waiting for. Director of Public Health, Kathy Moore, will give us an update on the COVID status.
Thank you. I have my slides there. So if we could just go back to the first one, thank you. This is a chart of the positive cases from the very beginning, from March 2020 to current this week. And we see where we had the super surge in November. We had another surge just recently, and then our numbers were also, or at least our percentages, impacted by this big data dump, that 384. That did not occur all on one day. That included some mass testing events that we held in collaboration with community to test after the spring break period. And then that just increased the demand for testing. And so we had quite a bit of testing going on that week. But the number has been gradually declining, and we have recorded 16 days of a decline. Our current positivity rate, and this is as of 5/7, 17.3%. That rate is still higher than our contiguous counties, but we're still trailing behind because of that big number recorded actually a couple of weeks ago. Our daily cases, the average number of daily cases, we are seeing on average 59.5 or 60 new cases per day. The comparative populace number would be 34.4 per 100,000 population. And again, that number is higher than our contiguous counties. But again, that is because of that big data, back data. And we expect it to continue to go down, similar to the state of Michigan and other surrounding counties. Next. Our hospitalizations. So, you know, we're really doing this to not to become a burden or not to overwhelm our local hospitals. And our hospitalization percentage of COVID positive people going down again, just like our number of positive cases. For quite a while, our West Michigan percentage was lower than the state average, but now the state percentage is lower. Our numbers are still going down, and we expect it to continue to go down. The column, the bottom chart and the column at the far right is as of yesterday, 11:26 a.m. There were 43 patients in Mercy Health Sherman campus diagnosed with COVID. 18 of those 43 were on the ICU or in ICU, and 11 of the 43 were on the ventilator system. And then 19 individuals reported to their emergency room the day before with COVID-like symptoms. Next. So, you know, positivity rate going down, the cases per 100,000 going down, the hospitalizations going down, but the number of deaths continue to be recorded. We do anticipate that the deaths will follow the community rate. And so we do anticipate that it will go down, but remember these are sick people and that number is gonna hang on a little higher before it decline. We recorded 8 deaths for the month of May already. And there was some deaths that we were not aware of, and the state informed us that occurred outside of Muskegon County, but they were Muskegon County residents. So those numbers, the April number was adjusted to reflect the deaths during that time period. The chart at the top shows the deaths by age group, and it still follows the, you know, the age group that it did with the initial super surge. Except we are seeing younger because a lot of our older age groups are fully vaccinated, a great percentage rather. Next. This slide is the Michigan news. And so yesterday the governor announced that Michigan had hit the first milestone of that four-step back to normal plan. A lot of our numbers were showing just over 50%, but they looked at the CDC numbers that included a lot of the federal vaccinations which were not recorded in the Michigan registry. And these were the VA, the veterans conducted a lot of vaccination clinics, Social Security, Michigan federal prisons, and the military. So with that all included, the state determined that the 55% had been met. And one of the I guess stipulations of that is that it allows in-person work for all sectors of business. We have to remember that this is after 2 weeks of meeting that, and MIOSHA needs to amend their work rules to align with this. Another newsworthy item is that the FDA authorized Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for use in children ages 12 to 15. Next.
Kathy, may
Yes.
I?
Yes.
Well, you said MIOSHA needs to amend work rules. Do you know anything about that, what that actually means?
So even though the governor she published the back to normal plan, and she said, once we hit these milestones, 55, 60, 65, 70, she would, there would be certain restrictions that she would lift. And so she said that once we hit 55%, it would allow in-person work for all sectors of business. However, MIOSHA has some emergency rules that need to be amended to also align with that. And I know that they're working on it.
Okay, so we don't know what those are then right now.
We
Okay,
don't know what they are, but we expect them to be less restrictive.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. This is the vaccination coverage in Muskegon County. By age group, we have accomplished, or 79.1%
Whoa.
of residents in Muskegon County have received the first dose. Age 75 plus have received the first dose. 80.7% of individuals 65 through 74, and so on. The little box at the bottom just shows that 54.2% of females, eligible females in Muskegon County, compared to 46.5% of eligible males in Muskegon County have received their first or initial dose. Next. Again, just recognizing all of our community outreach partners for helping with hosting the vaccination clinics, gathering the names, and getting out the educational materials. And we, again, extend an invitation. We have more doses than demand. If you are part of an organization or a social group that has 20 or more individuals, or you would like to hold a clinic at your location, we are able and willing to do so. We were approached by the city of Muskegon for the possibility of a clinic at the farmer's market, and we would love to do that. And we just have to work out the logistics and details. And that concludes my report.
Okay, does anyone have any other questions for Kathy? I just have a comment. The past week or 10 days, two people that I personally know passed away from it, one being the son of a friend. So that would be somebody maybe 40-ish. I don't know how old he was, but about the age of my son. So this is still dangerous.
Yes, it is.
And just to confirm one thing, Kathy, if you've had both vaccinations and you get the COVID, you pick it up someplace, okay? The chances of it being dangerous are much less. Is that correct?
Yeah, the rationale behind that is that the vaccination does not necessarily prevent you from getting COVID. It prevents your symptoms or from being less severe or more severe or fatal. So the idea is that the vaccine will help in that regard.
Okay, thank you. Charles, did you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question. Number one, I wanted to see if we can get these slides sent to us through email through the JPEG format so that we can get those out to the community. And the other question I had is, do we have any other initiatives that we're working on or collaborations with organizations to try to help encourage our young people to get this vaccination? I see those numbers are really low as far as the population, but I know that that's probably still needed.
Yeah, we're going to circle back to the schools to see if they are interested in holding a vaccination clinic for their school population within their building. And normally they would, help or assist and provide volunteers as well. We're going to start with the schools, and then over the summer we'll probably look at other organizations as well.
I also wanted to know, had you heard anything about this new vaccination? I got some information that there's a new vaccination that is supposed to be very good, is what they're saying, that it's even strong enough to help with this new variant. But I guess the only tests have been done in animals so far, but they're looking to see if they can get that streamlined. Have you heard anything about that or know what kind of time?
I have not, and I do not. I try not to pay attention until it gets to the stage that we are able to offer it, because, you know, there's just so much speculation and rumor, and so I wait until, you know, FDA approved and it's available for us to offer.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Good information. The next presentation is from the Public Defender's Office.
Hey, Commissioner, there is
yes.
a question by Commissioner Pago.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Yes,
Commissioner Pago, go ahead.
yes, thank you. I have some questions for our Public Health Director, Kathy Moore. Can you hear me, Kathy?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I was approached in the last weekend over a few residents from different schools, and one of them specifically has a direct question. He was superintendent from Eggleston School sent out a letter on Friday, apparently stating that there was a press release, and in a nutshell, it says that basically each school are now independently, this is verbatim, let's see, protocols from county to county. Where is a good part to start. Public Health of Muskegon County has assured me they will issue, no, that's not it. I don't want to read the whole email that the school sent, but they're saying that now the local health departments are now responsible for enforcing quarantining, not MDHHS. Local health departments can also, per the press release, respond as warranted to particular school situations with individually developed guidance and, if necessary, orders. It goes on to say at the end, if a parent or student refuses direction from the school, that the Public Health of Muskegon County has assured me they will issue a quarantine order if we are adhering to proper close contact tracing practices. There's a very long, quite lengthy email that Eggleston School sent out, and the question that the concerned father, who's also a substitute teacher there, sent to me, his main question is, my question for you and the county health director is, if a name were turned over to the county health department from a school district stating that the student had been in close contact with a COVID positive student and was being asked to self-isolate but refused, would the county health department take any action, and what that action would be?
Yeah, we would issue an order. We normally would call either the individual themselves or the guardian of that child. We would actually have to go through at court in order to take true action with a recalcitrant. We've never had to do that. And
but if a parent and a student are refusing, and they say they've taken an antigen test and they have the antibodies, so why isn't that good enough to come back? Why do they have to go through this quarantine?
If they're taking the antibody test, then we'd probably ask them to take the PCR test, and that would be good enough.
Okay.
So yeah, part of our quarantine is they can take a test after day 5, 6, or 7, and if it's negative, they are released from quarantine. So they'll only get a quarantine order if those things do not exist, like they're not vaccinated, or if they've had COVID-19 in the last 90 days, they don't need to quarantine either. And they can take a test at day 5, 6, or 7, and the quarantine will end as well.
So if I'm gathering this correctly, you're clarifying that yes, the county health department, if someone refused, would take the necessary actions and issue an order.
We issue quarantine orders only, really only if the person says they need it to show their employer So we've never really issued the order to say, you know, you're a bad resident and you need to stay home. Most people we talk to, if they are familiar, like if it's a household member or they're familiar, they're mostly all cooperative. I have not ran into that yet. And school is almost out, so I'm hoping I don't run into that.
So his question is, schools can make their own guidelines now regarding this. Apparently the MDHHS or the governor is no longer involved in mandating against the schools. I don't know if they ever did have the authority to do that, but apparently it's been relinquished from the MDHHS and the governor on Friday. I don't know that to be true or not, so I guess I'm asking you. You probably have more information on that than I do. But the school boards then can make their own rules. Apparently, they don't necessarily have to follow this.
No, the basically what MDHHS said was that theirs is a recommendation and the orders have to come from local. And we basically said, we're not going to issue orders. We're working with the schools. We talk to them on a case by case basis.
Recommendations, but not orders. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, I'd like to keep going all night with this, but let's move on. Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate all you're doing. All right, the next presentation is from the Director of the Public Defender's Office, Mr. Fred Johnson. I think he wants to talk about expungements. Fred, are you there?
We're not seeing him, so we'll continue to check.
Okay. All right, well, if he,
Yeah, let's go on.
if he comes back, we can move it in. He may be in court, I don't know. All right, the next item is number 8, public comment on an agenda item. So, Jeff, I looks at something, Marcinkowski. Jeff, are you there? Okay.
There we go. I got unmuted.
Okay, there you are. Go ahead.
There you are.
You got 2 minutes.
Yes. Okay. I thank you for allowing me to speak here this afternoon. And what I want to do is show my support for an item agenda or something that's on the agenda or in the county meeting here. It has to do with the Human Services Summary Sheet. Chairman Marcia Hovey Wright. The Human Services Committee met on May 4th, 2021. It was recommended, and I move, and I'm reading through this, HS 21/05-11 to adopt the Muskegon County resolution opposing vaccine passports. I wholeheartedly support that move. I think vaccine passports are way out of line. I think it's an overreach. I don't think it should be done. So I am supporting that resolution as a resident of Muskegon County. My address is 3767 J Road. And once again, my name is Jeff Marcinkowski, MARCINKOWSKI. And thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And everyone, it's your turn. Unmute. There you go. Ann, I don't know where Ann went. Did she disappear? Okay. Sandra Cross. Sandra, you're muted.
Oh, good afternoon. This is Sandra Cross, Fruitland Township. And I would also like to ask you to pass this resolution to ban vaccine passports and their use here in Muskegon County. A vaccine passport would be a nightmare for civil liberties and privacy, and it would aggravate existing social disparities connected to wealth, privilege, and race. This is really a nonpartisan issue, and I'm saddened that it has up till now looked like it's been partisan. Also, some have said that this is not a county issue, but in reality, it really is. The county's goals of inclusion, diversity, and equity will not be taken seriously if many are discriminated against because of their personal health choices. And for those that embrace my body, my choice, I ask you and beg you to please be consistent in your ideology. Many of you have fought for bodily autonomy and freedom to choose, so fully embrace this concept. You should be on the forefront of a ban on vaccine passports. Why? Because it would be consistent with your stand for choice. Or does this only apply to abortion? Please pass a resolution banning vaccine passports. Be consistent with your stand on my body, my choice. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. Sean Campbell, please. You're muted.
Yes, there's Sean Campbell, 360 McLaughlin, Muskegon, Michigan. I also would like to support the ban on vaccine passports. Sandra said it better than I think anybody. My body, my choice. I guess that's more of a civil libertarian type concept. And absolutely. So support the ban on vaccine passports. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Michelle Hazekamp, please unmute.
Hey, hi. Thank you for letting me speak today. My name is Michelle Hazekamp from Muskegon County, and I would like to give my reasons for passing the resolution to ban a possible future vaccine passport. Threats to our freedoms, fairness, and public health are inherent to any platform that is designed to segregate society on the basis of biological data. COVID vaccine passports will creep towards digital identity schemes and social credit systems. This platform could even be expanded in the future to include other forms of health data, such as mental health and genetic test results, creating an all-encompassing biological passport in which new risks to discrimination are introduced if employers, insurance companies, and others have access for their own benefits. It will erode privacy by monitoring and controlling our movements, and with increased monitoring comes increased policing and higher risk of profiling. It will stratify society by labeling people based on their vaccine status and restrict people from work, entertainment, religious services, and healthcare facilities. Social and financial inequities would be amplified and create a new class of hierarchy, and will disregard the right of the individual to choose what they put into their bodies. Every human has the right of autonomy and self-determination over their own bodies. The Nuremberg Code was set up to guarantee these rights legally. However, this universal right was actually established in the US before World War II in 1914. In the case of Schlendorf versus the Society of New York Hospital, it was ruled that we have a universal right of informed consent to medical interventions, and declared that every human being of adult years and sound mind has the right to determine what shall be done with his own body. We cannot allow something like a vaccine passport to infringe on our freedoms that were granted to us by God.
Okay, Michelle, your time is up. Thank you very much. The next up is Angela Bush. You're muted, Angela.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm actually driving. So yeah, I just was calling in to also support the ban on the vaccine passports. And Michelle Hazekamp, I think, did a wonderful job, along with Sandra Cross, as to all the reasons why. And I'm thankful because, again, I'm driving right now with my kids and my dog, but I felt very important to call on this issue. I think it completely is an overreach. It infringes on our freedom, our privacy, and the slew of things that they've already mentioned. So I strongly am opposed to mandating them, and I support the ban. I also want to comment, I heard Ms. Waters earlier about raising the fee with marriage licenses from $20 to $50. I wouldn't call that a raise. That's more than double I would call that almost an attack on marriage. Not everybody has the money as freely as some may. And that is, I don't know why you would more than double. I mean, that just shocked me to hear that. You know, $5 would be one thing, but to go from 20 to 50 seems excessive. You or someone else knows, within a 33-day period. You know, if not, you have to resubmit. It sure seems like they're discouraging marriage in Muskegon County, or maybe it's all the counties or state. I don't know why that stands, but I strongly, whether it's to cover costs or whatnot, the state pays the county employees, not us separately, by doubling fees. So that's my stance on both. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Josie James. Please unmute, Josie. There you go.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak again. I did a little research, found out that one person with the virus can infect 59,000 people. This is a World Health Organization figure. The infection fatality rate in the US is at 1.8%, and that amounts to about 2 people out of 100. Unvaccinated folks should at least get tested and then decide whether you want to risk exposing 2 folks to the viruses. Virus is not in the same category as civil rights or pregnancy. Typhoid Mary was incarcerated for close to 30 years because she wouldn't stop exposing herself to healthy people. And the people she was exposing herself to, a lot of them ultimately died from typhoid. So that comparison to civil rights and pregnancy just really isn't a good comparison. And so therefore, I am against the ban of vaccination passports. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Josie. I'm going to skip out of order here a little bit just because I know she's been on here and it keeps getting bumped to the back. Jennifer Hodges, would you like to speak? You've got your hand raised. Please unmute. There you go.
Hello. I actually want to comment on Jennifer Hodges, Supervisor, Muskegon Township. I'm on agenda item 12 that you'll be discussing regarding the contract agreement with Senior Resources. I'm not making this comment to take away anything from the work that Senior Resources has done and is doing as the fiduciaries for our senior millage funds, but I am very discouraged with the current state of this millage and the process by which our taxpayers' funds are being spent. So I'm just here to sort of, I guess, encourage the board to approve maybe a 1-year contract with Senior Resources, and then within that year, have the county establish and set forth their own mechanisms for being the fiduciary of their own money, be that through hiring employees or creating a new committee to oversee the funds or finding another independent organization to facilitate this that does not do senior related programs. In the last few days, I've had a lot of conversations with community members and neighboring communities regarding this topic. And I've heard more negative than positive comments about this process, and it's discouraging. I'm told the application and reporting process, as well as the operations of the senior activities committees, are sometimes inconsistent and are always challenging, even for the most experienced of organizations. So I can't imagine what a less established group would experience in this process. It's frustrating to continually hear all of these struggles. And I'm urging you to take a look at this negativity and find a different solution to this over the next year or so, especially if you want to renew this millage in the future, because this millage is a wonderful thing for our community if it can be done correctly. I'd also like to mention that I'm a little discouraged with the lack of transparency. I've been trying to find minutes, committee member information, budget information, anything on the senior activities committee online. And until today, when we called Senior Resources and inquired about minutes, there were no minutes on the website, and they were finally put up after we called. This is very discouraging, and I'd like to see some correction on this before a 3-year contract is approved. I don't know the perfect solution, but I'd really like to see you guys stop kicking the can down the road and figure out a better solution than what we have. I'd also like to quickly add that if there is additional funding, maybe look at reallocating larger amounts to the local entities, but stop changing the process process on by which we have to go to report or approve any of this, because from year 1 to year 2, you've changed those too. So I just want to kind of reiterate.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you. Your time is up. Amber Sisto. Amber, you're muted. If you'd unmute, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Very well.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for calling on me. I am calling in today because I want to express my support for the ban against the vaccination passport. And just to touch a minute on a statement that was made about how one unvaccinated person can affect, all these hundreds of people. Even if that is so, if the vaccination works, the people that choose to get vaccinated, wouldn't they be protected against the unvaccinated? And even for a mother of school-age children, whether you get your child vaccinated for MMR and rubella, chickenpox, and all of the vaccines that are given at a young age, even those are not required by the school to enroll your child in school. So vaccinations aren't mandatory now for diseases that are or were prevalent. So to make the jump and say that you have to have a vaccine for the coronavirus to do daily activities, it's just absurd. And back to my original statement, if one chooses to be vaccinated, then aren't they protected? So that's just all I wanted to express. Again, I am in total support of the ban on the passport or the vaccine passport. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Amber. Susan Crane, you're muted, Susan. Unmute, and you got 2 minutes.
Bob, I'm sorry, and if I can't speak, that's fine, but this is Orville Crane. Because my computer's being worked on, I'm using Susan's computer.
No, that's fine, Orville. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Orville Crane. I live in the city of Muskegon. And I would like people to know that the use of health documents is a way to ease lockdowns that are crippling the global economy. In fact, international travelers have long carried the World Health Organization's issued International Certificate of Vaccination. This is not new. It's since 1982. And so also tech companies, healthcare providers, even retail stores are working on digital health pass applications to prove vaccinations before entering events and businesses. I do not want Muskegon County to take away my right should Walmart say you have to have a pass to get in. I don't want the commission to take away my right to go into that Walmart store. I think this whole process goes from a negative side, not a positive side. And I believe I have the right to use a passport if I want to. If the rest of the people that don't feel that, don't want a passport, don't get one. You see, you're fine. You're all fine. But don't tell me that I can't. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crane. Lisa Marie, I can't read. Is it Griffin? You're muted, Lisa.
Hi, it's Griff4.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's actually Warner. I disagree with Mr. Crane. I think the problem is that they're trying to mandate these things. If he wants a passport, he can get a passport, but we should have the choice not to and still be able to live our lives. I'm asking you to vote no on vote yes on the resolution to ban vaccine passports. It is a violation of our rights. It's a violation of our medical privacy, information privacy. It blows my mind that this is even coming up. if you want to get your vaccines, then I feel that, yeah, you have the right to have your vaccines, but we should have a right not to. So I just lost it. I just shut down.
I shut you down?
No, my phone just shut down.
Was you still talking?
Okay,
Can you
Lisa,
guys still hear me?
yeah, we're hearing all your little
Oh,
conversation.
I'm sorry. My phone is oh, okay, wasn't on my phone, duh. I'm sorry. So yeah, I strongly suggest that, we vote yes on banning this resolution. It makes no sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Kenneth Mahoney. Ken, you're muted. Just unmute and you've got 2 minutes.
There we go. Thank you, commissioners, for listening. I urge you to vote no on the proposed resolution on vaccine passports. First of all, it has no teeth, nothing at all. It's unenforceable. It's a waste of your time. I suggest you read the mission statement and stick to that rather than venturing into national politics. A lot of what's in this resolution is speculation and not fact about who can get it, who won't get it. And I suggest your time would be more productively spent doing things like Ottawa County, which they're in the process of trying to get broadband throughout the entire county for teachers and kids and adults. I watched the Michigan legislature struggle with this last week, and they couldn't come to a vote yet because they were worried about the unintended consequences of banning such a thing because of the schools that need the vaccination registration things to know who has been vaccinated and who hasn't. If you ban it, then schools won't have that information. So I would urge you to vote no. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mahoney. Next up is Shelby Putnam. Shelby, you're muted. Just hit the Shelby, are you there? Okay. Well, I don't know who this is, but it says Michigan. Looks like,
no, thank you.
Hello, I'm here. This is Shelby.
Okay, go ahead, Shelby. You got 2 minutes.
Sorry, it wasn't letting me unmute. Technology. I'm young too. I should know how to do this. Hello, thank you so much for having me on, letting us be on. My name is Shelby Putnam, and I'm also calling to specifically ask you all to pass the resolution that's being voted on today. And just like everyone said, I'm going to repeat a little bit, but I do just want to voice myself and how important this is. And I know there are so many more people that couldn't call in that this is important to. And I want to speak on their behalf. And vaccine passports are discriminatory, just like what was said. And this will affect all races, all genders, all sexual orientations, all religions, all political affiliations. The discrimination will affect all of those different groups. And I know that our leaders are calling for unity. And so we really need our commissioners to pass the resolution to protect our community from the segregation that will honestly result from businesses, schools, and government entities requiring the proof of a vaccine. And even the American Civil Liberties Union speaks out against vaccine passports. And I want to protect our medical privacy and bodily autonomy, and that's what passing this resolution will do. Passing this resolution as well does not stop people from getting the vaccine if that is what they choose.
You're almost done, Shelby.
Okay, I just want to end with, we want.
Okay, thank you. I don't know who this is. There's somebody named Abby that keeps getting to be next and then disappears. Is Abby, are you there or did you give up?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. It's your turn.
Hello, my name is Abby. I live in Muskegon County. First, I would like to thank you commissioners for the work you do to positively advocate for our community. You help to give voice to issues that need to be heard and understood. Secondly, I'm calling today to ask that you vote yes to pass the resolution for vaccine passports. I've heard a lot of talk about how the passing of this resolution will instill fear in people about the vaccine. To make statements like that is to draw attention away from the primary purpose of this resolution, to protect our freedom as American citizens, to have medical privacy and bodily autonomy. If we keep the facts of the resolution in focus, I think more of us will willingly agree that American citizens have the right to privacy and a free choice to do with their own bodies what we feel is our best interest medically. It is a sad reality that we have come to a point in our community where a woman is applauded for terminating her unborn baby's life, stating "my body, my choice," while other women, like me, stand up to say "my body, my choice" regarding medical privacy and bodily autonomy, and we are labeled as misinformed and disrespectful. To say that vaccine passports are a non-issue that we should be unconcerned about is to ignore all of the signs pointing toward a future government that controls the coming and going of a society that once called itself the land of the free. Thank you very much for your time and careful consideration of my views as an active member of our community.
Abby, Nick Prill. Nick, you need to unmute and you've got 2 minutes.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First off, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the support that the commission has already expressed regarding the vaccine passport ban. I think that any institution of a vaccine passport will inevitably lead to a two-tier society. We're already seeing that in Israel and in Washington state. So the threat of the vaccine passport being mandated at a federal level or even a state level is very imminent. And I think it's time that we start taking measures at the local level to protect the body autonomy of the citizens that you guys represent, and to prevent such thing as a two-tier society from becoming our new normal. Also, in regards to the gentleman that made the comment about Walmart requiring vaccine passports for entry, when you do choose to get vaccinated, you do get a card that proves that you're vaccinated. I don't believe that this resolution is in any way, shape, or form trying to limit the ability to get those cards. So everybody that has the freedom of choice to get their vaccine already does have proof of vaccination for use in the private sector. So I think that that goes to cover the needs of the fears that those have. And I believe that, if we can all work together and get past this and work with, freedom of choice and freedom of body autonomy, that we'll be in a much better place. So I thank you for the time today, and I ask for your consideration in voting yes to ban the vaccine passports.
Thank you, Mr. Prill. Next up is Vivian Cuenca, I think. Vivian, you're going to have to unmute. There you go.
Good afternoon. My name is Viviane Cuenca, and I am calling to support the commission to vote yes to adopt the resolution to oppose vaccine passports. Again, as many of you have already said in their community, you can go in, you can get your vaccine. First of all, this is still under emergency use authorization, so it hasn't been fully approved by the FDA thus far. So we should not be considering to enforce passports when we don't have that fully authorized yet by the FDA. So I would like to, again, strongly, as some people said, recommend that you vote yes to adopt the resolution opposing the vaccine passports. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you, Vivian. All right, the next individual.
Point of order.
Yes.
Let's just go on. There are two commissioners in the chambers that are not wearing masks, and we just got cited by MIOSHA for this, and it's putting the staff that have to be in that room taking notes at risk. And there are other places that they can go in the building to participate in this meeting. So I would ask that we follow our rules. The building requires masks and they're putting staff at risk.
Okay, thank you, Marcia. I'm going to get an opinion. I'm not going to deal with that right now because, first of all, there's still 20 or more people that want to speak. And I'm going to get an opinion from our corporate counsel about what to do about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is, it says Michigan leader something. I can't read it all. You'd have to unmute if you'd like to speak. Michigan leader, no? Okay, I'll move on. If you're there, I'll watch to see if the unmute button goes away. Next up is Jonia Tamburi. Jonia, if you want to unmute, you have 2 minutes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. I would like to start by saying that I'm a professor. I am the daughter of medical doctors and scientists born in Europe. The reason why I vote to oppose and strongly oppose the vaccine passport is because I teach my students critical thinking, analytical thinking skills, and we teach that whenever there's a single solution presented as a cure or panacea for a problem, it is incompatible and ineligible of meeting scientific empirical evidence. And I say so because a vaccine passport would only work to recognize the single treatment as the single solution, in this case, the vaccine, therefore neglecting or ignoring any other treatments that have been found to be working, including but not limited to sprays and more. In addition, what very much concerns me and my community is that this passport would create a two-tiered system of rights and equalities, which would produce and engender many, shall we say, opportunities to break and how could I express this? Not break, but violate our freedoms. I was born in a former communist country where such a system existed and was codified. This passport is reminiscent of the Nazi regime. It is a code that trickles down into every aspect and facet of one's life. It divides people into those who have desirable records from those with less than desirable records. And this turns into predicted negative outcomes for those who do not comply. Constitutional rights reign over right of mobility and freedom of medical choice. And these are the freedoms why we came here. I'm proud to be a resident of Michigan. And I would like to once again add that I oppose vaccine passport. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, that Michigan leader, I can't, that's all I can read.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Yes.
Can we make sure we get the names and whether they're their district or county resident?
Sure. Okay, okay, there, you're unmuted. I don't know who you are. Please give us your name and where you live.
Hello, my name is Jamie Thompson, and I'm from Michigan Leadership Group, and I am a resident of Wayne County. However, I'm calling in to ask you to vote yes, because ultimately this affects everybody in the state of Michigan. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I had to run back to my computer because I know you had reached out to me a few times. Looking at I'm going over your agenda, and you do an invocation, you do a pledge of allegiance. You're pledging allegiance to the Constitution of the United States for freedom. That includes medical freedom. It's not about the choice to be vaccinated or not be vaccinated. It's the choice to have a government mandate a vaccine passport for you to be able to travel, work, shop. That is government overreach. That is private and personal information that should not be disclosed to anyone and other than your doctor. This is where we need to stop and draw the line. I'm asking you to vote yes on the proposal to ban vaccination passports. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up is Angela. It says Angela R. Tell us where you're from, Angela, but you have to unmute. Okay, you've got 2 minutes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Angela Riley and I am calling from Ada Township. And I am requesting that you pass the resolution to ban vaccine passports or any other name they might be called by any entity in Muskegon County. I have watched your county improve immensely over the past 25 years that I have lived in West Michigan, and I always look forward to visiting and supporting your growth. Muskegon County is one of my favorite and frequently visited places to bring my children every summer when we visit the lakeshore. Whether it's to go camping at Pioneer County Park or spending a day at Pure Marquette Beach, we consistently choose Muskegon. It is such a treat for my children to stop at Frosty Oasis on our way back from the beach. And we always plan family dinner night at Hobo's Tavern while camping. And then we always stop at GNL for a late lunch on our way back home from camping. How will we be able to enjoy any of these things if the passports come to fruition? How will any out of county or out of state visitors be able to enjoy your amazing county if we have to show our physical or electronic papers? I will be incredibly disheartened if this choice to visit your county is taken away from me because of mandated vaccine passports. Our state has already suffered immensely this past year, and I honestly believe the tourism industry will be gone if this resolution is not passed. Have you noticed the droves of people fleeing our beautiful state to vacation, or worse, moving to the free and open states? That should be alarm bells going off, screaming that the vaccine passports will not go over well in our state, which is why this resolution needs to be passed. We cannot fall back on the federal government saying they won't issue or enforce these, because we all know they are planning for the private business sector to do their dirty work for them, which cannot be allowed. I know this has been a very time-consuming issue, and I really appreciate everyone's patience and sincere contemplation because it is a very important issue. Our state has lost so much this past year, and how amazing would Michigan's tourism comeback story be that you, Muskegon County Commissioners, were the pioneering efforts in our great state's revival. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, it says Zoom host. Is that, that's one of somebody in staff, is that correct? All right, Nancy Sterniak. Unmute Nancy, you're welcome to speak.
Hello, good afternoon.
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I am calling. First of all, I think some people, I'm Nancy Sterniak, and I live in the Wayne County district. And I know some people were voting to ban the passport, but they said no. I think this was kind of misleading the way it came out. But anyhow, I am really saying that I am against, I want to ban the passport. First of all, I believe this is a real infiltration of our rights. And I grew up in a socialist country. Actually, at that time, it was a dictatorship where we had no rights. And I became an American citizen in order to enjoy the liberty of this country. And I do not wish any politician to take that away. So please, I want this passport to be banned, and I need my rights. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. Next up is Tricia Beckering. Please unmute. And as a note to everybody, as soon as you're called on, right now, figure out where your unmute button is so we don't spend too much time while you're looking. Okay.
Chairman Skolnick, we have to send them a message to unmute. That's what's taking long.
Okay.
They can't just unmute themselves.
Okay, I understand.
Mr. Chair, we also have to have their name and residence for the record.
Okay, so what happened to the person I just called on?
I'm right here.
Okay, there you are. You moved down to the bottom. Go ahead, Tricia, you got 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Trisha. I'm from Alpine Township. I'm a tourist to Muskegon. I love going to your beaches. And I'm here to support the vaccine passport ban to help keep our freedoms. This will respect the people and medical information privacy. It will let people decide for themselves if they want to get the vaccine.
Passing the ban on the vaccine passports not only keeps our medical freedom, but will also unify us rather than separate us. Please pass the vaccine passport ban to keep the community unified. And if this is just a speculation, then it shouldn't be a problem to pass it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tricia. Next up is Tim Klein. Tim, there you go.
There you go. All right. Whenever you're ready, Bob. Okay, thank you, Commissioners. My name is Tim Klein. I live in Norton Shores. Do I need to give my full address?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate this. I appreciate the opportunity to, I guess, request that you please pass this vaccine passport ban. I can't mirror everything that everybody else has said, so I won't. Also, if it would be possible, could we get from Kathy Moore basically the raw data that she's using in her slides? There's a statement that statistics never lie, but liars do statistics. And I'd like to make sure that we're looking at the data properly. I don't want to. I'm not saying that I'm faulting her for doing her job wrong or anything like that. I just like looking at the data and actually teasing out the true, more scalable stuff. If we could, that would be appreciated. So thank you very much. I yield the rest of my time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Klein. Jason Hall, please.
Thank you for taking my call. Jason Hall, Moreland Township, Muskegon County. I have to switch my screen here. I'd like to call a point of order to the meeting due to a criminal act that just occurred, whether or not a commissioner is aware of it. My commissioner was just, her civil rights were just threatened by a commissioner under statute 750-478A. Council can look that up. The prosecutor's office is on the line and witnessed it. The commissioner is fully aware that the commissioners inside the meeting are exempt from wearing masks and just attempted to violate their rights by influencing the chairman. Also, regarding the agenda, today on social media, the Moreland Township clerk made a few comments regarding the possibility of an integrity issue with the number of senior residents that are in the township, but not on the census or the senior resources numbers. If there is an integrity issue with the numbers, I would like that to be addressed. I don't know what entity that goes to, if it is the Commissioner's Board or Human Resources. I appreciate the ability to speak, and I expect the chairman to address the criminal act that just occurred. Thank you.
Thank you. And Derwin.
Mr. Chair, just
Yes.
a point of order, these comments should be regarding agenda items only.
Okay. And if you would, you can speak, you got 2 minutes, but please give us your name and where you live in the county. Okay. I don't, she disappeared. So I'm going to call on Carol Phelps. Carol, are you there? Can we unmute Carol? Does anybody see her? She's on the top. There you go. Carol, you got 2 minutes.
Yes, I'm standing in for Carol Phelps. I would like to vote no on this pack.
Okay, Carol, could you tell us your?
I'm
your
from
place of-
Plainfield. I'm from Plainfield Township, Comstock Park.
Okay.
I would like to vote no on this vaccine passport. I think it's an invasion of our privacy. It's going to take away our freedoms to have control over our own bodies. It's going to lead to something even more invasive in the future. It's unconstitutional. It's un-American. I'm a grandmother of 4 grandsons. I'm concerned about the future of this country and the direction it's going in. And I just don't think it's right to impose on the citizens of the United States to do this. And I appreciate you letting me have my few minutes here, but I just echo the things that the people before me were saying, because it's just wrong. And I just want to just say that. Thank you very much for letting me have some time.
Thank you, Carol. On my screen, it says Zoom host. I'm not sure why that's there. Is there someone in the boardroom that wants to speak? If not, I'll move on to Linda Cisco. Linda? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Linda Cisco, and first of all, thank you for allowing me to speak. As many people have already spoken to about the ban on the resolution to pass the vaccine passport, I also support that we ban it for many reasons. Number one, medical privacy. I have heard other people in the past on these meetings say that it does not go against HIPAA, but I believe that it really does. Vaccines are part of your medical records. They're no different than drug tests, pregnancy tests, blood work, and those things that are part of your private medical privacy. Another reason is your medical freedom. I'm a 16-year ovarian cancer survivor. While I was receiving chemo treatments, I was at my most vulnerable and was highly advised not to get any vaccines such as flu shots, as it would work against my natural immunity. Although I'm not totally against vaccines, I'm extremely concerned with the discrimination a vaccine passport would impose against those who cannot or choose not to be vaccinated. Just as I had medical freedom to choose my medical treatment when I was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer in 2004, I should also have those same medical freedoms now to continue to choose all of my medical decisions. One other thing I'd like to mention is there's been talk about vaccines in schools. I'm a 20-year Muskegon public school teacher. Unless things have changed in the last few years since I retired, I know that vaccines are not required for students. And for travel, I know that
Linda,
vaccines.
your time is almost up. You've only got a few seconds. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Rich Mapes.
Hi, my name is Rich Mapes, and I'm a resident of Ottawa County. I want to encourage you to pass the resolution banning vaccine passports. I know you've heard many times and from many people, including me in previous meetings, that vaccine passports are extremely discriminatory to many people who cannot take the vaccine. You know, vaccine passports would instantly make unvaccinated people second-class citizens and would cause them to be cast from society like a leper. They would not be able to attend live events with friends, go out to dinners to celebrate with families, or even travel freely. And you know, requiring vaccination passport would be terrible. The idea that anyone, especially my children and grandchildren, your children and grandchildren, may have to go through life having to produce proof of vaccination or any type of papers in order to freely move about society or even visit Muskegon County is no way constitutional. I care about other people, and I'm not saying people cannot get a vaccine if they so choose. We all need to do our part and be responsible for our actions, but forcing people through social indulgences to undergo medical treatment is wrong and unconstitutional. Did you know there's no scientific evidence that groups of vaccinated people are safer than groups of unvaccinated people? Did you know has spoken out against vaccine passports, expressing privacy concerns? And did you know passing this resolution is not anti-vaccine? It is pro-medical freedom, pro-medical privacy, and pro-bodily autonomy. No government, no business, nor any other person has the right to force or coerce a medical treatment on any individual. The question is, do you believe the people of Muskegon County have sovereignty over their own body? I know we do, and I believe you do too. This resolution protects everyone's rights, but it also allows people the choice, the God-given free will to vaccinate. Again, I strongly urge you to support the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, it says health freedom on the screen. I do not know who you are, but tell us where you're from. Health freedom.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Maya Hahn. I live in Hudsonville, Ottawa County, but I'm here representing all the vaccine injured and those at risk of vaccine injury in Muskegon. I am a speech language pathologist and an autism specialist and the mother of 3 vaccine injured children. And I ask you to support the resolution to ban vaccine passports. I testified in front of the House Oversight Committee last Thursday representing those that were vaccine injured and those significantly at higher risk. And I will echo some of what I told them here. Just as African Americans are at higher risk for COVID-19, science has showed us that African Americans have a 336% increased risk for vaccine injury. Sorry, I'm out of breath, I'm running around. This stat comes from over 800 pages given to Congressman Bill Posey in 2014 by the CDC scientist and whistleblower, Dr. William Thompson, who was given a sworn affidavit to Congress that the CDC back in 2001 told him to trash the data that African-American boys had a 3.36 times more likelihood of getting autism from the MMR. We have captured and corrupt government agencies, and we have pharmaceutical companies that have zero liability for the damages that their vaccines cause. No one is protecting us, not the government agencies that we're formed to, nor Big Pharma. Our own Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is not even providing true informed consent for these COVID-19 vaccines and has not even gone through the proper safety trials, and they have not been approved for safety by the FDA and are only being approved through emergency use, and that every recipient is currently being experimented on. They don't know the long-term consequences. They don't know the carcinogenic, reproductive, immunogenic, and autoimmune effects of these new RNA vaccines. Yet Health and Human Services is coercing millions of Michiganders to be injected without true informed consent.
You have 5 seconds left. That's it.
I ask you, please pass this resolution to ban vaccine passports.
Okay, thank you. All right, Andy Davies.
Hello,
Yep, go ahead. We can hear you.
my name is Davina Davies, and I am a resident of Norton Shores in Muskegon County. I'm speaking today to ask you to pass this resolution to ban the vaccine passports in Muskegon County. They are discriminatory and they strip Muskegon County residents of freedoms that have already been granted and they're protected by the Constitution. I have heard people claim that there would be religious and medical exemptions for the vaccines, but when I reflect back on how these mask mandates have gone down that supposedly had exemptions, this has not ended up being the case. Places of business open to the public have denied access to people with exemptions. People that I know and people that I love dearly have been forced to explain their private medical histories to total strangers, and then they've still been denied access to these public places of business and services, some of which they paid for with their own tax dollars. This is discrimination, it's wrong, and it must stop. Vaccine passports are the next stop on the road to taking away our medical freedoms of choice. With everything that's happened over the past year in our nation and in our state, we keep hearing repeated calls from our leaders for unity. Allowing vaccine passports in any form will fundamentally divide our society into those who have gotten vaccines and those who have not, punishing and discriminating against those who are unable to get the shots for a medical reason, those who are hesitant based on the experimental status and would like to wait for more data, those who have moral objections to the fetal cell lines used in testing and developing them, and those who choose not to vaccinate for whatever reason. Please do your duty as the elected officials to the citizens of Muskegon County and protect our freedoms of medical choice. Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, thank you. Donna Pennington. Donna, as soon, there you go. Are you there, Donna?
Hey, I'm unmuted now, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So I'm Donna Pennington, Lakeshore Drive, Muskegon. Since the former speaker referred to herself as a college professor, I will note that I am a professor at Western Michigan University. I'd like to point out that I vote for someone to represent me on the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners so that I don't have to attend every meeting of the commission. The same is true for my city commission, my state legislator, and my state senator. This is the idea of representative government. I understand that on occasion, I may still call or write my representative on an issue of particular interest to me. I am very disturbed, therefore, by hearing about commissioners commenting that they are casting their votes based on a count of how many people offered public comment on one side or the other of a particular issue or sent an email. As commissioners, you represent all of your constituents and the well-being of all of Muskegon County. And I'd like to close by saying, instead of vaccine passports, I wish that today this commission was using their time to exercise their leadership to discuss ways to encourage the people of Muskegon to get vaccinated and help return our community to physical, emotional, and economic health. So thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Donna. Next up is Cami Flores. Cami, you'll be unmuted in a minute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Cami Flores and I am a Muskegon County resident. Thank you for the opportunity to voice my opinion that we've heard today that strongly support the commission to vote yes to adopt the resolution on this ban for passport vaccines. There is no government, federal or local, that were ever elected to control our decisions on what we do with our bodies or what we put into them. This is my body, my choice. It's not the elected servant's job or rights to take the rights and our freedoms away. Please pass this resolution for the better of the American people and Muskegon County residents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cami. Next up is Diego Cuenca. Diego, if you would please give us your where you live. You should, there you go. You're unmuted. You
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Right, my name is Diego Cuenca. I'm from Wayne County, and as the previous callers have suggested, that this doesn't only affect this particular county, but could be very well a domino effect to affect the entire state of Michigan. So all Michiganders are quite interested in this first topic. I'm calling to support the vote yes to ban the resolution to pass the vaccine passport. You know, there are some issues I think we'll struggle with if this passport idea goes forward. One, primarily with 21 U.S. Code 360 BBB, which states that no emergency authorized medical product can be mandated. And of course, all of the mRNA vaccines right now are considered to be an emergency authorization use only. The second issue I think that Michiganders need to be aware of is there actually is a very large body of evidence specifically to the CDC database VAERS, which to date, just in the past 3 or 4 months, there have been recorded 4,000 deaths as a result of this mRNA vaccine, which is more than the total sum of all other vaccinations combined in the past 20 years. So we're going to have to overcome that hurdle where Michiganders have some hesitancy to take this, to be able to present a piece of paper, to be able to buy groceries and attend events. So again, I'll just highlight the fact that I'd like for you guys to vote yes to pass the resolution to ban this passport. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Jen Hoaxma. I can't, the last few letters are missing, Jen. You should be unmuted in a little bit here.
Okay, I'm live, I think.
Okay, and tell us where you live, please.
Yes, my name is Jennifer Canindike. I live in Muskegon County, and I support the banning of the vaccine passports. The vaccines are not yet approved by the FDA, as many have stated, and that is the truth. They are still experimental, and I just don't think that they should be forced or even incentivized by anyone. I've seen signs while driving through Muskegon County asking people to get vaccinated. I think that is very irresponsible. Vaccines are not for everyone, and I think we should have our own choice. Even healthy young children definitely are not susceptible to having any, I guess, deaths. So I just think it's very important that we wait with a lot of this stuff until we know a lot more about what's going on, just because we need to be responsible. And I'm not against people getting it if they choose to, but I think we should have a choice. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for letting me speak.
Right, thanks, Jen. And next up is Lynn Freisinger. Lynn, you should be muted in just a short time. There you go. No, it went back. She needs, there you go.
Okay.
You got 2 minutes, Lynn.
Thank you, Bob. My name is Lynn Freisinger Stribley. I'm a resident of Norton Shores, Muskegon County. I respect my friends and neighbors who are in favor of passing this resolution, as well as I respect my friends and neighbors who are against passing this resolution. I have some opinions about this resolution that may be a little different than what we've heard so far. I would respectfully request that the board table the resolution or vote no on it, because this resolution is poorly written. It's an embarrassment. It has missing words, incorrect terms, misinformation, disinformation, and engages in hyperbole. It is not well written. I'm a retired English teacher. I would send it back to my students with red ink all over it. I can't believe that we can't do better than that. So that's my opinion. Please don't pass this and put it on the permanent record in Muskegon County. The only other thing I have to say is I lost a family member Sunday to COVID-19. I hope that everyone exercises their freedom of choice to vaccinate. I want you all to be here this summer to have a good time in Muskegon. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Next up is Nathan Silva. Nathan, I've got to wait for the clock to 0 and you will be unmuted. There you go.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear.
Okay, great. I'm Nathan Silva. I'm a resident of Eggleston Township in Muskegon County. I just wanted to thank you, Bob, and Melinda Pago, my commissioner, and the 3 other commissioners who voted to pass this resolution against the vaccine passports out of committee. I'm of Mexican American heritage myself, and my grandparents came to this country for a better way of life, for more freedom and the opportunity to live as they saw fit. And yeah, I never thought we'd see the day where we'd be facing an issue like this where our freedoms are in jeopardy. But I want to urge the commissioners to please pass this resolution to ban the vaccine passports, protect our medical freedom of choice. I support everyone's choice to be vaccinated or to not take the vaccine. That's a personal choice between them and their doctor. And I support everyone's right to bodily autonomy. So I think you'll be doing us all a great service and protecting our constitutional freedoms.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Silva. Greg Scott. Greg, you'll just wait a couple seconds. They'll unmute you and you'll have 2 minutes. I hope.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
I can very well.
Thank you. I wanted to address items 12 and 13 on your agenda. I just want to say, I hope the commission votes to continue the agreement with Senior Resources for administering the senior millage and find a way to authorize an allocation for home-based services. I've been on the Senior Activities Committee since it was established, and that committee, which you appointed to advise the commission, has endorsed the pass-through of a portion of the millage to Senior Resources for home-based services for several years. Such services are critically important for seniors with health issues to remain in their own homes. Last month, the Senior Activities Committee was permitted to review a draft agreement with Senior Resources that recognized both their roles as a grants administrator for the millage and an overseer of a percentage of the millage for home-based services. Our committee endorsed this idea, and we hope that you'll see what an efficient arrangement it's been in the past and can continue to be. Senior Resources is really the only entity in the area that's been designated as the Area Agency on Aging. And as such, it's more than simply a nonprofit. It serves a quasi-governmental function. It's set up with a network of providers to provide in-home services. It's able to monitor the performance of those providers. It assures that services were actually provided and only reimburses when the services are rendered. They take no additional administrative dollars off the millage to do this. I'm not sure what other entity could do that. By working with Senior Resources, the county is effectively leveraging the state and federal funding that goes to them. It's my understanding that most of their overhead is paid by those sources and the county has to pay nothing additional. It is an efficient system.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Scott. Ariana Tamburi, you should be unmuted in a second. Ariana, you'll have 2 minutes to speak. Can, who's ever controlling the host function, can you unmute? There you go. Ariana, go ahead.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, yes. I am for banning this passport and for medical freedom. So I am Oakland resident and I am both MD and PhD and in medical microbiology and postdoctorate in clinical microbiology. So I'm very qualified about this subject. There is no way the government should force us to have mandate vaccination. And what type of vaccination is forcing to us is the experimental vaccines. Some of them GMO vaccines. You know GMO food? This is GMO vaccine, which is far, far from perfection. There are only a few months to prepare this type of vaccines. So it's very dangerous. A lot of side effects are reported from CDA itself. So for the later effects, we have to wait to see what's going to happen. But to say for now to have mandate vaccination, and this is what is all about, actually to have mandate vaccination. This is what the vaccine passport is all about, to force us to have vaccination. So this is at least irresponsible to say at least, and to see siding with the global elites and siding with the pharmaceutical companies, which are not liable to this process, is criminal.
Okay. Michelle Burley.
Yes, my name is Michelle. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can, Michelle.
All right, great. My name is Michelle Burley and I live in Fruitland Township. And I'm requesting that you vote no on this vaccine passport ban. This is a misguided response to a problem that does not exist. No government entity is imposing vaccine passports. No private businesses in Muskegon County are doing that either. This hysteria surrounding vaccine passports is coming from the same propaganda that is promoting false information about vaccines and about the CDC guidance regarding COVID-19, such as masks. As community leaders, you should be encouraging people to get vaccinated and encouraging people to follow CDC safety guidelines in order to protect those who cannot be vaccinated or who choose not to be vaccinated. I also want to say that I'm very disturbed about this fear mongering and false equivalency between vaccines and vaccine passports and the oppression experienced by Jews during the Holocaust. No one is being forced to be vaccinated and no one is being treated as a second-class citizen for not being vaccinated. And so I'm asking you to please vote no on this vaccine passport ban that is just something that people think might happen and it's not really going to happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Mike Glancy. Hang on, Mike, just a minute. No, you'll have 2 minutes. They'll unmute you in a second. There you go. No, not yet.
Are we ready?
Yep, you're all set. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob, for letting me speak and the rest of the commissioners. I think this is a magnificent thing that you're doing here in Muskegon and setting a precedent for the state of Michigan and the rest of the people here in the United States. The main thing is to recommend to all the commissioners to please pass this resolution. It is very important that we have the right to make our own decisions of whether or not we want to be vaccinated or not. And one of my main concerns is this is one of the biggest clinical trials going on in the world. This is a clinical trial and it's an experiment. It has never been done before. First of all, it is a genetically modified organism that is in this vaccine. I've had several people, even the manufacturers of this, to confirm that. They have made a messenger RNA. This messenger chemical is injected into our body and it causes our body to make a spike protein that is reminiscent of COVID, that actually helps COVID infect our body and do all the detrimental damage. So some people don't want this to happen because they don't know what's going to happen beyond or what stops this message to stop producing it. All we know is it now causes antibodies to help stop this virus from getting in. So please vote for this resolution. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mike. Ron Sterniak, you'll be unmuted here shortly and you'll have 2 minutes. Okay, you're on, Ron. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, my name's Ron Sterniak. I'm from Wayne County. And I guess the main concern is that this vaccine is a violation of my personal freedom as guaranteed by the Constitution. But beyond that, I want to basically say similar things to what the last person said. It is an experimental vaccine. Its effectiveness is in question. Previous attempts to come up with an mRNA vaccine have resulted in the death of animals, and I don't believe that they've got the technology down correctly. It also has to be noted that more than 4,000 people have died from this vaccine shortly after taking the vaccine. There's question about whether it was because of the vaccine or not because of it, but there's enough to cause wonder. There's been hundreds of thousands of people who have other
side effects such as blood clots, skin rashes, and miscarriages. So, I mean, it's a technology that's not proven. And so I strongly ask that you vote yes to ban the vaccine. There's no good reason to do this. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ron. Next up is Mel Chapman. Mel, they got to reset the timer, and it looks like you're unmuted already. I don't see Mel Chapman there anymore. Did he go away? Okay, Kristen Colley. I wonder, is that the same as Chris Colley? Kristen, you're up. There you go. Somebody unmute her. Okay. Kristen.
Hello, Commissioner Skolnick. This is Chris Colley, City of Norton Shores. I'd like to speak on agenda items 12 and 13. Today, I'm here to encourage the Muskegon County Commission to enter into contract with Senior Resources to administer the Muskegon County senior millage efforts, including the provision of providing an allocation for in-home services that without their help could never be provided to seniors in Muskegon County. Our county is lucky to have one of the best accredited area agencies on aging in the country. The staff at Senior Resources are advocates and leaders in providing services to aging adults in Region 14 with a track record of almost 50 years administering federal and state resources. Senior Resources rarely provides direct services, but partners with over 100 nonprofits and companies to provide much needed services, including important in-home care. They administer over $26 million per year, not counting senior millage funds, into our region. The providers who are contracted to provide services to seniors complete a monthly and quarterly reports, annual audits, site visits, phone calls, as well as receive training and technical support to grow and strengthen programs. In turn, Senior Resources is accountable to multiple layers of oversight and must comply with several standards in addition to an annual financial and single audit. I could not think of a better administrator to be the stewards and guardians of how the Muskegon County Senior Millage granted funds are managed. They are the experts on aging. They currently administer millions of federal and state funds with the integrity and transparency that every nonprofit should operate under. They do their very best to provide supportive services to providers with the resources we have to serve as many people as possible. For these reasons, as a commission, you can trust them to bring the same policies, procedures, technical support in managing an allocation that allows in-home care services to be rendered in the same way they're trusted.
Okay, next up is Ann Whiteford. Ann, you'll be unmuted in just a second here, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, yes.
Yeah.
I'm Anna Whiteford from Muskegon County, and I would just like to encourage you to ban the vaccine passport in this county. Many people have already spoken quite eloquently about why they would like it not to be in this county, and I just really would like to encourage you, because the main thing for me is a time when our country needs unity. This passport requirement will separate the people in this county, no doubt about that. It's been used in Israel, and it's already proved to be the case there. And so I would just ask you, please do not pass this vaccine passport and separate the people of this county even more. And thank you so much for taking my call.
Okay, Ann, thank you very much. Next up is, all that's on the screen is NM. I don't know what that means. I'm thinking no more, but there's more. NM, you're unmuted and you're free to speak. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, tell us where your name and what city you live in.
Yep. Okay. My name is Nicole and I'm from North Muskegon. I'm calling to ask you to pass the ban against vaccine passports for Muskegon County. I am not going to repeat all you've heard tonight, but I am incredibly thankful for everyone that has called in. As a community member said earlier, when we take away our emotion or personal feelings about the vaccine itself, we should all be able to agree that a vaccine passport takes away our medical privacy. The people of Muskegon will stand up for our medical rights, our medical freedom, and our medical privacy, and we hope you all do the same. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Oh, just when I think it's going down, more people call in. Brian Allred. They've got to reset the clock, Brian, and unmute you. So there, the clock's reset. Brian Allred, who's ever controlling the muting. There you
Hello,
go.
I think I'm there.
You're there. Okay.
Okay, great. I don't want to go into 2 minutes, but I just want to say I hope that you guys will look at this rationally and use some common sense, I hope, and oppose this vaccine passport. I don't think something like this will pass, but if there's anybody on the board that's even considering it, I hope that you vote against it. We're going to create a two-party system here, two-tiered system here, where you're going to have local businesses that are going to discriminate against those that do and those that don't. And I could just envision, going to Target or Walmart and having, forgive me, brown shirts standing there saying, hey, show me your papers before you can come in. I really don't want to see us go down that road. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking. Next up is Carol Phelps. Carol, just give them a second to reset the clock, and they will unmute you. There you go.
Hi, my name's Carol Phelps and I'm from Kent County. I'm asking you to please pass a resolution to ban the vaccine passport. Passports would create two classes of people, those who can participate and those who cannot in everyday activities such as going to the stores, restaurants, theaters, hospitals, gyms, etc. It would even limit people's ability to work at certain places. This is not freedom. It would take away our freedom of choice. We've never needed a passport for other vaccines. Why now? I've known several parents who have chosen not to get their children vaccinated before the COVID was even around. It was against a religion, or it was the parents concerned about the side effects. This was fine a few years ago. Now we're being pushed to get this vaccine. And with the passport, we would have to prove we've had it. We can be turned away if we choose not to get it. This is a free country with a constitution that protects our freedoms. We should not be pushing people into something against their will. Our constitutional rights include medical choice and freedom. This idea of a passport is just one step in the direction of adding more and more limits to our freedoms. Once we put limits on our freedoms from this passport, it will be easier and easier to put limits on other freedoms as well. This is just one step in that direction. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Brian Flatter. There, you're unmuted. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I'll try and be quick. I know you've heard a lot of the same stuff.
I need your name and where you're
Oh,
from.
I'm sorry. My name is Lindsay Flatter. I'm actually under my husband's name. My computer is but I'm in Oakland County in Southfield Township. And I am a tourist, and I would love to be able to come to Muskegon. But I want to be clear that I'm not anti-vaccine at all. I respect people who want to get the vaccine. I have friends who've gotten it, friends who haven't. Me personally, I have a medical condition. I have a couple family members who have medical conditions. I cannot get this vaccine. And so this actually discriminates against me. So the good news is that people can still make choices regarding protecting themselves from COVID, such as getting the vaccine, and I support that. They don't need a vaccine passport to get that. Those rights will not be eliminated, but the rights and freedoms of those who have legitimate reasons, like myself, will be taken away if a vaccine passport is implemented. And I think it will truly divide our already divided country. When we need to come together, we need to respect other people. And I echo what someone had said earlier about when we take the vaccine component away and say, would you respect someone's medical choice? I think that's what it has to come down to, because medicine is not one size fits all. While helping the greater good is important, and we should do it when we can, at the end of the day, we have to be able to choose what's best for ourselves and our family without government oversight. So please pass this resolution regarding banning vaccine passports. I think this is the benefit for everyone's freedom of choice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mel Chapman. Mel, they should have you unmuted in a second here. The clock is set. You'll have 2 minutes to speak or less. Are you there? Do you see Mr. Chapman? Looks like he went away. Okay, Mary. Oh, are you there?
This is, I don't know what happened. I didn't, you didn't call my number, but somehow it said to be unmute.
Then go ahead. That's fine.
Okay.
I need your name and where you're from.
Sure. Thank you for hearing me today. My name is Michelle Mixa, and I'm a resident of Dalton Township, Muskegon County. I'm asking the board to pass the resolution to ban the vaccine passport in Muskegon County. First, this pandemic has been difficult for everyone. It seems that there are a million different issues that have arisen due to the lockdowns and COVID-19. I myself was forced out of our family home last year when my husband's industry was shut down, and I've also lost 4 people that I know personally to the virus. Please know this resolution deals with only one of these issues, vaccine passports and avoiding the societal split that will occur if they were to be implemented. Are you aware that a woman was denied access to a hospital in Michigan just last week when she tried to get in to be with her husband when he was critically injured by being hit by a car? Why? She wasn't vaccinated. This is just one example of what a vaccine passport would look like if implemented in Muskegon. The fact is that the leadership within Muskegon County is capable of not only supplying the necessary vaccines to those who want and need them, but they are also capable of protecting the medical freedom, medical privacy, and bodily autonomy of the residents here who are not vaccinated at the same time. Week after week, I have listened to Kathy Moore give the report from the health department, and the fact is they have done a stellar job in supplying vaccines to all who are willing and able to take them. This resolution does nothing to impede their ability to do that at all. Please take action for the inevitable 2-tier society that will come with the vaccine passport. I ask that each member of the board vote to pass this resolution and let the people of Muskegon know that all of you stand behind all of us, regardless of our private medical information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mary Valentine. If somebody could unmute Mary, there you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Mary Valentine, Norton Shores. Thank you for allowing us all to speak. And I would really encourage you to oppose this resolution. I'm just astounded by people coming on here opposing the vaccine passport, which no one's even talked about a vaccine passport, as far as I can tell. No one's thinking about it. No one wants it. Why are we writing a resolution to ban it? It just doesn't make any sense at all. I guess I have to say I'm a little disappointed that the board would take this much time when we have people dying of COVID. It seems like we should be getting accurate information about the vaccine. I mean, if people don't want to get it, they don't have to have it. There's no law that says they have to have it. On the other hand, we all have to live with the consequences of our decisions and the consequences of our actions. And I personally, don't really want to be around people who don't have a vaccine, because we're not going to get to herd immunity. We're going to be living this way forever. If people don't want to have it, though, they certainly have that right. If they want to go to another country, they may not be able to get in because other countries have their limits as well. But again, nobody has introduced a vaccine passport. No one's even talking about it. Everybody has freedom of medical freedom. They have freedom to do what they want to do, and no one is even questioning that. So please oppose this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Miss Mel Chapman, you're unmuted. You got 2 minutes on the clock. Well, you were unmuted. Can someone unmute Mel Chapman, please? There you go. Mel, are you there? Would you like to speak? Okay, we'll go on to, there's a phone number. It says the last 3 digits are 908. It's a 616 number. You have 2 minutes. You're unmuted. Please give us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, my name is Paul Mixa. I live in Muskegon, and I'd like to ask you to propose to ban the passport, the vaccine passport. I think it's foolish to speculate that it would never happen here. As stated by someone earlier, it's already happened at a hospital here. It's happened to my children not being able to go into a trampoline park because they were not able to show medical proof of not being able to wear a mask or have a vaccine. So it's already here in Muskegon. It's here. It's already being rolled out in other states within the U.S. This is why I think everybody is on this call trying to be proactive instead of reactive. You know, I have many family members and friends who have gotten the vaccine, and that's fine. It's their choice. It's my choice not to get the vaccine, and that's what it's all about, is choice in the U.S., being a U.S. citizen and being backed up by our commission within Muskegon. So I ask again that, you know, we pass that to ban the vaccine passport, just so we can live with the freedoms that we were granted when we're living in the U.S. And I appreciate your time for hearing me out. Thank you.
Okay, there's one more. Mary Chapman. Mary, they're going to reset the clock and unmute you, and I hope you're last.
There you go. Say it. Hey, are you guys there?
We're still here. We're going to be here all night.
Hey, listen, I'm going to do a different slant on this. I just think like, well, first of all, pass yes on banning the vaccine passport. And then when does it end with the passport passing and we keep doing add-ons the rest of our lives in Michigan? This is a free country. We need to have our own medical privacy and live our lives. Thank you very much. End the call.
Thank you very much. Okay, hopefully the last one. Your the phone number, it's a 231 number. It ends in 711. So hang on, let them reset that, and you're unmuted. 711 on the phone.
Yes, good evening. This is Toby Hildebrand. I reside in Sullivan Township here in Muskegon County.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to thank you, commissioners, for your support of this resolution at the last meeting and for all the time you take to serve Muskegon County. I support the resolution to ban vaccine passports and couldn't say it any better than what's already been said by those who have called in support of it, so I won't repeat what they've all said. So with that, I just ask that you vote yes and pass the resolution to ban the vaccine passports and protect our freedoms. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, so that's it for public comment. I think that was enough. We're going to move on to committee and board reports. The first one is courts and public.
Commissioner, we do have Fred Johnson, Director Fred Johnson.
Oh, I forgot about that. Fred, are you here?
Unmute, Fred.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me just a few moments here. I know it's late, so I'm not going to hold you. I'm Fred Johnson. I'm your public defender, and I just wanted to make sure that all my commissioners know that the public defender's office is providing expungement services for all of your residents. If you have a constituent, if you have someone that you're aware of that may need this service, all they need to do is call us. Our office, there is no charge for the work that our office does. Quite frankly, the new statute there's going to be a lot of demand for it because it expands the ability for individuals to get expungement, which means they can get jobs, they can find apartments. That means they can get promotions. The bottom line is, it's a very complicated new group of statutes. It is not the sort of thing that an individual is going to be able to wade through on their own if they're not an attorney. We're asking you, if you get requests of people who have questions about expungement, give them our phone number, 724-6585. Give us a call. That's all they need to do. We will handle the situation from that point on. We will walk people through the paperwork. We will answer their questions. We'll evaluate them, and we'll set them on the right course. And when it comes time to go to court to get their expungements, we'll be there to represent them. And that's what I wanted you folks to know this afternoon, that it's a service provided by their county. And if you have constituents, have them give us a call. We will take care of them from that point on. Thank you for your time and attention this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Just as a little side note, I had a constituent who called me and was kind of lost in the system, and I called Fred, needed help with a public defender, and Fred was terrific. Okay, so I guess we're going to move on.
Commissioner, I think Commissioner Laring had a question.
Oh.
So for Mr. Johnson, if can I ask Mr. Johnson a question about his report?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, I couldn't hear the question.
Yeah, I haven't asked it yet. I was asking permission to ask the question.
Okay.
My question is there a limitation onto expungement? Is it for misdemeanors? Does it include felonies, or what can you work on?
Yes, sir, there are limitations, and that's, Commissioner Laring, there are limitations, and that's part of the problem. They're all over the place. There are a wide variety of limitations as to what people can get expunged. The simplest way to explain it to individuals is you up to 3 felonies. And you wait up to 7 years, sometimes 5 to 7 years for felonies. And misdemeanors, there aren't any limitations. You can get as many expunged as the judge will allow, as long as they're not assaultive. Now, the other final limitation, Commissioner, is the right. There's not an absolute right to expungement. The judge who overheard the case or replaced that judge can determine whether or not to grant the expungement. If the judge decides you haven't earned it, or it's not appropriate, it's not the right thing for the community or the individual, the judge can still deny the expungement. So there's a lot of different ifs, ands, and buts. This is, like I say, a complicated statute. The best way to do things is have that person call me, and I can look up their criminal history and tell them if they can get expunged or what they can get expunged.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome, Commissioner.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Johnson.
You're welcome, sir.
We're going to move ahead with committee board reports, and we will begin with courts and public safety. Commissioner Pego chairs that committee.
I'm trying, I can't unmute or start my video. I can't start my video. I can't start my video, it won't let me.
You are unmuted.
Yeah, we can hear you, Melinda.
I can't do anything. I'm trying to start my video, so I apologize. Okay, well, when I speak, I like to have my video on, but that's okay. So I'll do it anyway. I gotta find it. The Courts and Public Safety meeting met on May 4, 2021. It was recommended, and I move CPS 21/05-23 to permit Muskegon County Prosecutor's Office to create a new Assistant Prosecutor 2 position at the pay table grade NX-00308, $29.23 per hour, up to $37.16 per hour, effective April 19, 2021, to be fully funded by the Stop Violence Against Women grant. I also move CPS 21/05-24 to authorize the Sheriff's Office to utilize the Sheriff's contracted vehicle maintenance provider to broker selling used vehicles for this office. I also move CPS 21/05-25 to approve entering into a 5-year lease agreement with REV Financial Services for 4 SUV Interceptor vehicles for a value of $188,304.32 at an interest rate of 2.70%, pending corporate counsel review of the lease agreement, and authorize the board chair to sign the agreement upon completion of that review.
So moved.
Okay.
Okay, Melinda, I might suggest, since we've already done this in the committee meeting, you could do them all at once. And
right.
You don't have to read them.
I did. I read all 3 through 23 through 25.
Okay.
You don't have to read them, he said.
No, you don't have to read them since we've already read them into the record once. But it's fine. If you want to read them, that's cool.
Already done.
Okay.
I do have a comment, Mr. Chair, if I could.
Yes, go ahead.
I asked a question at the last meeting about whether we could use some of the money in our cash pool to pay for these vehicles and save the 2.7%. And Administrator Eisenbarth was going to get me an answer to that. Do you have that, Mark?
I have not had the opportunity to look at an answer for that yet. We've searched it, but we have not had the answer yet for you.
because I would be hesitant to vote that one if we could save that kind of 2.7% on 188,000. If we could maybe postpone that till the next meeting and get the answer to that.
Mm.
Is that a motion to table?
Yes, I would make a motion to table 25 until the next meeting till we get an answer to that. If that's all right.
Okay, Chairman or Commissioner Hughes, my only concern about that, I'm the one who actually brought it up, but I thought about it afterwards. It may be possible to do, but that money, I don't know if we can encumber that money for 5 years. I don't know what the rule is on that.
That's why I asked for some
Right.
information on it.
You've made a motion. Was it supported?
Yes, Commissioner Pickle supported.
Okay, this happens fairly often. I personally would rather not. I just want to get this moving ahead, get the cars ordered, and there'll be many opportunities to do this down the road. But okay, there's been a motion. It was supported. Is there any other comment?
Mr. Chair, can we hear from the sheriff whether there's a time constraint to this or not?
I'm sorry, but a motion to table goes right to vote. We're supposed to vote on the table.
Okay, you're right. So Linda, could we have a roll call on tabling number 25?
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Larry,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
No.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Chairman Skolnick.
No. Well, that's the first time that's happened.
7 yes, 2 no.
Okay. All right, so we're going to table number 25. We need to vote on 23 and 24. Is there any other discussion on those? If not, Linda, could you please do a roll call on 23 and 24?
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
on both,
Yes, on both. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Larry,
Yes, on both.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes on both.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes on 23, yes on 24.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes on both.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes on both.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes on both.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes on both.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes, yes on both.
9 yes on both.
Okay, now, does that complete your report, Commissioner Pago?
It's the Courts and Public Safety Report of May 4th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next up is the Human Services Committee, chaired by Marcia Hovey Wright. Marcia?
Yes, Human Service Committee met on May 4th, 2021. And it was recommended, but I would like to pass the meeting, making the motion to Commissioner Laring on item HS 21/05-11.
Mr. Chair, as Vice Chair of the Human Services, I accept the honor that Commissioner Hovey has given to me. The Health and Human Services Committee met on May 4th, 2021. It was recommended and I move HS 21/05-11 to Muskegon County resolution supporting or resolution opposing vaccine passports. Thank you.
Support.
Second.
Okay, so it's been supported. Is there any other? I think we beat this.
Yes, I have a comment on that, Bob.
I do too.
Susie. Yep, Susie first, Marcia is second.
You know, I basically oppose I support the resolution opposing the vaccine, but I cannot support it because we are including businesses in that. And I think a business should have its own ability to make that decision for itself or to work in a facility that has made that decision. And I would also like to address some concerns that a lot of our residents had about this affecting their violating their personal medical records or personal medical history, and it does not do that. It's a medicine that doesn't have to have your doctor's approval to get. It's an over-the-counter medicine like buying aspirin. So that's not something that you would have to keep from people anyway. So I just wanted, some people were concerned about that being violating their privacy. Well, it's something you could buy you can actually get it for free at the pharmacy. So it doesn't really come in that.
Thank
That's
you.
all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Hughes. Commissioner Hovey Wright.
Yes, I have, there's some information that I've learned since the Human Services Committee meeting, and also some principles that I think need emphasizing. First of all, I must acknowledge that there is a well-organized minority that has contacted me to change my vote. Most of these were respectful. One was harassing, but my vote remains a no. And this is why. It would appear that there is a large percentage of who support the infringement on business decisions to be safe, so they can return to business as usual. And as you know, we've also heard from 10 people from out of the county. I'm not sure why that's relevant, but in fact, according to an article I read yesterday in the Washington Post, 71% of US citizens support vaccine passports. In Canada, it's 78%. So what we're hearing from is a definite minority, but very vocal. Many of those supporting vaccine passports also contacted us, and so thank you for that. I am concerned about how this resolution will affect our efforts to reach human herd immunity in Muskegon. It will cause people to question why some are so adamant against vaccination or vaccination passports. Happily, however, due to an increase to 55% of people vaccinated with the first dose, Michigan is lifting restrictions on returning to in-person work after 2 weeks, as our health director said. And more restrictions will be lifted with more people vaccinated. So it's in our best interest to do that. You talk of rights, but other people have rights to work in a safe environment, to be safe in college or on a cruise ship or anything else. Norwegian Cruise Line over the weekend threatened to pull all stops to Florida due to their ban on vaccine passports. Cruise ships that docked in Muskegon in the past could decide not to deal with Muskegon's interference with their efforts to get back to business, and they could refuse to book here. I share your concerns about those who have medical contraindications about vaccines. Passports have had exceptions for medical, religious, and philosophical reasons, and even for those who show a recent negative test result or antibodies from having had COVID. And as I said before, responsibilities go with rights. We all have a responsibility not to spread COVID by wearing masks, and I say that to the two commissioners sitting in our commission room that are supposed to be wearing masks, washing our hands, and getting vaccinated. If we don't have medical contraindications or religious or philosophical reasons not to, it's just common sense. So let's get back to the business of this county. We have a lot to work on. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes, you may, Commissioner Steer.
Well-organized minority. We had like 40 callers or more today, and it looks like there was about an 82% call ratio that was for banning this passport. I've had probably 100 emails, phone calls, maybe 100 plus in the last 2 or 3 days, and the percentages are very close to that. So I don't know that this is a minority. I'd encourage everyone who has a desire to get the vaccine to become vaccinated. The vaccine's available to all, but I believe freedom of choice must remain our standard in this county. Thank you.
Can we vote, Mr. Chair?
Call the question.
Can't hear Bob. Can't hear Bob.
Bob, you're muted.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, there's no, you don't need to call the question. We're going to vote on this right now. Linda, could you do a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
No.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
No.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
No.
Commissioner Hughes,
No.
Chairman Skolnick.
Yes.
5 yes, 4 no.
Okay. So okay, is that the, Commissioner Laring, is that the end of your report?
That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Just a minute, let me get back to my screen. Okay, here we go. It's fighting me a little bit. Okay, then we have Ways and Means, the report of the Ways and Means Committee by the committee chair, Commissioner Seer.
Thank you, Commissioner Skolnick, or Chair Skolnick, excuse me. The Ways and Means Committee met on May 4th, 2021, and it was recommended, and I moved that on WM 21/05-46-47-48-49 and -50.
Support.
Okay, we've had a motion from items 46 through 50. It's been supported. We've already discussed this at the Ways and Means Committee meeting. Is there anything else that needs the answers? If not, Linda, roll call on this one too, please.
Chair Nash,
Pass.
On all.
on all.
I said pass.
Yes, on all.
Passes.
Pass for now.
Commissioner Pago,
Okay, yes, on 46. Oh, that's bad.
Yes on 47, yes on 48, no on 49. And yes on 50.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Oh.
Yes on all.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes on all.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes on all.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes on all.
Commissioner Laring,
I'm going to use Bob's favorite words. Yes on all.
My God.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes, I know.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes on every single one of them. How's that? Thank you.
9 yes, 0 no on 46. 9 yes, 0 no on 47. 9 yes, 0 no on 48. 8 yes, 1 no on 49. 9 yes, 0 no on 50.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Laring. I would just like to point out that we just passed, we're through item number 9 on an agenda of 25 items, and it's only 6:15. So, all right, next is the chairman's report, any committee liaison reports. I just have a couple things. One is the 2021 Muskegon Police Officers Memorial Service will be held tomorrow, May 12th, 2021, 6:30 p.m. in front of the Michael Kobza Hall of Justice. I believe they're going to do it by the statues out there. And then the Muskegon Heritage Museum invites you to attend a free community days. Saturday, May 15th, theme is It Runs in the Family, 50 plus years of Black owned business from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. No RSVP required. And that's at 561 West Western. I'm sure you all know where it is. And that's a great museum. So that's all I have for now. Then we have the administrator's report. Mark?
Did any of the commissioners have a committee report?
Oh, yes. Does anybody have a liaison report from any of their other assignments? Anybody? Okay, no, thank you. Thank you for reminding me, though, Mr. Eisenberg.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two reminders, the board work session on the Muskegon County Board rules will be 3 p.m. Thursday, May 13th. prior to the scheduled committee meeting that we have scheduled on Thursday as well. So next May 13th, 3 p.m. The B there, street planning that we worked on a couple months ago. We have it scheduled for James Kelly on May 24th at 8:30 to 10:30. And that ends my report.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to unfinished business. The first item is 2021-181 Human Services Motion HS 21/04-10. It was tabled at the full board meeting on April 20th, 2021 to the full board on May 11th, 2021. The motion read as follows: to enter into a 3-year contract agreement with Senior Resources for senior millage grants administration services effective October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2023, conditioned upon reaching an agreement with Senior Resources upon an allocation of funds. If somebody would please make a motion for that and support it, and then we could discuss it. Marcia?
Oh, yeah, so moved. But I would also like to,
Yes, support.
well, I guess after, okay. I would also.
Wait, Marcia, just a minute. You made the motion, right? And
right.
Commissioner Seer, did I hear you say you support it?
No, I asked if there was support.
Okay, yeah, is there any support for it?
Support.
Okay, so we have a motion that's been supported. Now we can discuss it. Before we do that, I would like to ask Mark, the administrator, just to, Mark, do you want to say anything about this? Because it's kind of complicated.
Go ahead.
It is complicated. This is an RFP that went out several months ago. And we're here today to recommend from staff who the most qualified bid was.
Roll call on removing it from the table.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was tabled. So I'll need, before we do anything, I guess, I'll need a motion to remove it from the table.
I motion to
We had that already.
from the table.
Okay, Mrs. Pego made the motion. Is there support?
Support.
Okay, Mrs. Hughes supported it. I guess we'll, Linda, I guess we'll do a roll call vote on everything. So we're voting to remove it from the table, and then we'll have to go back to the making a motion and support. So Linda, you want to take a motion or take a roll call vote on removing it from the table, please?
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Hubby Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Chairman Skolnick.
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay, and now,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
should we?
Yeah, so
should we make another motion, just get this in the right order? Because we had.
Yeah,
motion.
I'll make
You'll
a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the 3-year contract with Senior Resources.
Okay,
And I'll have an amendment to deal with the last sentence. So.
okay,
that's
so
fine.
motion by Hovey Wright, and who supported it the last time?
Can we amend this to 1-year contract? I tried to get this amended to a 1-year contract previously.
Well, wait a minute, I need
Yeah, we've
support.
got a motion and
Support.
second first.
Yeah,
Right, I'm asking Marcia if she would make another
No,
amendment.
no, I
We
wouldn't
have to-
accept that. But they've already been, I mean, this was supposed to have been voted on back in October. And, to make it a 1 year means it only goes till October. And that just doesn't make any sense.
all
They've
right,
been,
wait a minute, I need to make sure we've got this done in the right order. So Marcia, you made a motion to move this forward, and then who seconded it?
I seconded.
Okay, Mr. Nash. Okay, so now it's in place. So whatever, Melinda?
Chair, she
Yeah.
actually made an amendment within her motion.
I haven't made that amendment yet.
Hasn't been made yet.
Okay, I can put it out right. No, do
Yes.
we have to? Yeah, I'll put it out right now. So this is an amendment to have a change order to their contract for Senior Resources to include an allocation for continuation of in-home care and supports coordination that Greg
That's
Scott.
under new business, not unfinished business.
Well,
Wait,
no,
what?
that was talked about before, and we can't
Marcia,
amend the contract, but we can make a change order.
all right, Mark, Administrator, do you want to just go through this so we all know what we're talking about here?
Right. So going through our purchasing policy, we are required to follow the contract, the purchasing RFQ that we sent out. The RFQ was only for the grant administration. So when we start adding items to the grant or to the RFP before it's even awarded, it's against our policy. So we really need to approve this, vote it up or vote it down. If obviously support it, then you can make another motion after this is passed. If it fails, obviously you don't make a motion to it. But to follow our purchasing policy, we cannot do a change order before this grant, before this, it says a grant administration service takes place. Once that's done, then you can address number 13 in home care, and you can obviously change the language on that as well.
So we need to vote on the original motion first before we vote on the change order?
That you're proposing, correct?
Thank you.
Okay, so.
Sorry.
I do have a comment on that before we
Yes.
move forward, Bob.
Go ahead, Mrs. Hughes.
You know, I have a problem entering into a 3-year contract for a couple of reasons. One was because we don't know if the next one's going to pass, and they want a condition that they can move forward with the other funds. And two, you know, this doesn't seem to be working out like we thought. Our original intent was that Senior Resources would not ask for funds other than just running the grant. And now they want to do programs and get funds. So I would be more in favor of giving them a 1-year contract. And I would be happy to start it right now and give them a whole 12 months. But then we could decide if they really want to continue to be the fiduciary, or if that's something that with what we pay them, we could hire a couple people and run it within. So I think there's some options to be looked at before we move onto a 3-year contract.
Okay, Mark, do you have any comments on that?
Yes, currently they have a month-to-month contract for the administration services and the in-home care services. So with our fiscal year, it makes sense October 1st, but obviously you can do whatever you like as far as when it starts and when it ends. But ideally, the reason this is written the way it is, we want to start it with initially it goes back to October 1st of last year, which we're almost halfway through that already. Actually, we are.
All right, so Mark, so the next item, number 13, is a request for bids or proposals to do the actual administration
of the in-home care support and coordination
of the in-home care.
Mr. Chair.
And that's because it's over 25,000. Your policy requires you to get at least quotes for anything over 25,000.
Okay, so that if we go ahead and do that, we could do that first motion 12 and then start on number 13 and just see what comes in before we've got to see who can do it.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Nash.
I think this is the main reason why we wanted to separate the applicants from the administration, because right now we're having a whole lot of complication because we put into the language of the RFP for the administrator that they would not be allowed to be one of the applicants or recipients. And so, you know, if we're going to be transparent and we're going to honor what we put in there, I think we need to look forward to that. I think, you know, having this contract for 3 years is okay, as long as we have a way to opt out. If we could move forward with a different administrator. I like the suggestions that came from the supervisor from Muskegon Township, Jennifer Hodges, that, you know, these complications, I think, are the reason we need to separate these. And if we don't do that, there's going to be more of this down the road. And if we want to get this funding to help support our seniors in the community, I think we really need to work at cleaning this up. And if we do have that, Mark,
are you sure we do have an opt-out, even if we had a 3-year contract for the administrative services?
Well-
That we can move to another organization or entity that may be capable of doing administration if it wasn't senior services?
We'll definitely double check and we'll have corporate counsel review it as well before the document is signed.
Yeah, can I speak?
Yes,
Just a
Marcia,
moment? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and if people are not comfortable with combining them, I'll remove my change order request. I'm recalling that there is an opt-out. I don't know of any contract I've seen that doesn't have one. So, let's continue with those 3 years, but really try to fix whatever people think needs to be fixed. Senior Resources has always been very responsive to suggestions, et cetera. And they are the only agency that knows all the providers of senior services. They're the only ones that have ever done the coordination of in-home care. There aren't really any other providers doing that coordination piece. There are plenty of providers that do the in-home services, but not the coordination piece. So I think in
Plus,
light
Marcia,
of common sense,
aren't they doing that for the state?
yeah,
They're the ones who take care of
yeah,
it for the state.
yeah.
I don't know that they take care of that for the state.
No, they arrange for their vendors to come in and do the work. They don't do any work.
But my question is, if there are vendors out there, why couldn't the municipalities who have people that need in-home care contact those same vendors? They're not exclusive to Senior Resources. Anybody could collect a guy that goes in and does home care and hire them to come into an individual's house. It doesn't have to go through Senior Resources. You could give that money to the individual municipalities where it will be individually monitored to use it for the people that they have already, they're so familiar with the people. I have a problem giving that to Senior Resources when they're so busy with the contracts themselves. I really do.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Nash.
Another option we could do is we could make this a 1-year contract. And just like we've done before, if we need more time, we could always extend that contract.
And I would support that.
That's another way. Okay, that's another way.
I would support that.
Okay, so we're going.
I don't think we should keep Senior Resources in limbo any longer. So,
No,
let's
no.
get whatever we
I
can
think
get
they're
done.
more interested in number 13 than they are in number 12. The reason why, this was made this way. So, and I think that would give us the opportunity and the flexibility to look for another administrator or work with, our own staff. Like I said, we may be able to afford having, our county do it. So.
Okay, so Marcia, you made the motion, correct?
I made the motion for to enter into a 3-year contract, and I will revise that. I will withdraw that and make it a 1-year contract.
Okay, and we'll change the dates appropriately.
Right, but so it'll end September 30th, 2022. One. I mean, it's really just 6.
Okay.
I mean, it's
All right, so you are going to amend your motion, correct?
I withdrew my motion. I'm doing a 1-year contract for the administrative services. And now the other one has a 3-year contract. Can we keep that 3 years?
Don't mix them.
That's under new business.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's
Charles.
let's vote on that first.
Just a minute, Mark, just a minute. Charles, you made the second, correct? Will you accept that?
I'll accept
Okay.
that one.
Now, I'm not sure what we do now. Do we have to vote on the change?
I was still
to vote on the 1-year contract with Senior Services for
She
administration.
amended, because she amended her motion and he supported it.
Okay, so we have to vote on the amendment first, right? Is that correct?
No, I replaced it. I withdrew my first one. and
Okay,
replaced
all right,
it.
so it's all 1 year. I don't know who's taking minutes for this meeting, but if you're on this call, are you clear?
No, sir.
My understanding is for 1 year, this here goes back to October 1st. So we need to clarify what the 1 year is. Is it September 30th of this year? Or are we going to say 1 year from this date?
No, it'll be September 30th of this year. Otherwise it'll get screwed up with different,
Yeah.
different fiscal years.
Yeah.
The second point I want to make back to Commissioner Nash, we looked it up. It's a 90-day, currently it's a 90-day termination.
Okay,
And that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So could we keep the 3 years then?
Wait a minute. If it's a month to, one part of it I heard is a month-to-month contract already. So if there's a 90-day severability, it should
No,
be.
no. I think he means we're in a month-to-month currently until
Right.
we make the agreement.
Until we have a contract. So I guess my question is,
One at a time.
if there's a 90-day out, can we live with with the original contract agreement of 3 years?
No,
Okay.
Marcia, that's just gonna complicate it. Let's just do 1 year and we'll move ahead.
It's the right thing to do, but
Marcia has a motion on the floor that was seconded to change it to a 1 year.
Right.
And
So-
okay,
Okay.
we'll go with that.
Linda, roll call, please, on the 1 year motion for the contract with Senior Resources.
Sorry, before you take a vote,
Yes.
I just want to make sure that we are all clear on what the motion is. As I understand it, it's a motion to enter into that contract effective for 1 year, beginning October 1st of 2021. And until such time, you would continue with the month to month until that other contract took effect.
That's not what I thought it was.
That's not what
No.
I intended.
That was my interpretation.
No, what I intended is that the contract be a 1 year, October 1, 2020 to September 30th, 2021, and renewable up to 2 years. But obviously that's possible. I just didn't want to get away from, we could do it that way if,
Oh, God.
I just don't want to, I think we should enter into a contract right now.
Well,
I
don't listen, I don't necessarily care what the motion is as long as the motion is made clearly so that everybody understands it.
Okay, so Mike, the motion is to enter into a 1 year contract with Senior Resources effective October 1st and ending September 30th, 2021. No, 20.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
2021.
Correct.
Well, wait a minute, September 30th.
Exactly. That's
That's only a few months away.
How about if,
let's just take our corporate counsel's advice for that motion.
But again, I think what we were saying was, even though it's just until September 2021, we can move to extend this contract for however long we want after that year.
Correct.
Okay, all right, so we'll leave it the way it is, and then we'll have time to, we gotta move on with this. This is.
Wait a minute, it's not clear
You
because
can-
Marcia has a different understanding than Michael Homier does. So we need to come to an understanding of what we're voting on. I, at this point, don't care which way it goes, but I do want to be clear about what we're voting on. And Mr. Homier has a different opinion, which was my interpretation than what it seems is what Marcia's interpretation was.
well, I
So,
made the
okay,
motion
I'm
and it was
sorry.
for October 1, 2020 through September 30th, 2021, so that we have a full contract year when it was supposed to start. And then we can extend it
No,
after that.
leave that part out for a minute, okay? So
Yep.
as I understand it, your motion is to enter into the contract effective October 1st, 2020 through September 30, 2021. And also, I don't know about the last part as stated on the agenda, but that's what your motion is, as I
Right,
understand it.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so can we vote? Do we all, is everyone clear? Anyone have any, clarifications?
I just want to make sure that Mr. Nash supports that motion.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so could we have a roll call vote? Linda, are you still here? Or did you go home?
She has a couple of questions. I'm not sure she's clear on the motion.
Will the motion read to enter into a one-year contract agreement with Senior Resources for senior millage grants administration services effective October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021, conditioned upon reaching an agreement with Senior Resources upon an allocation of funds? Is that the motion?
I didn't think the last part was in there, was it?
The
Well,
last
it-
sentence should not be in there.
Pardon me?
What did you say, Mark?
That last sentence should not be in there because you're going to address it on number
Right.
13.
We're going to address
Right,
that later.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to enter into the one-year agreement through September 30th, 2021, period.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, is everyone clear? Okay, Linda, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Pass.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
No.
Commissioner Laring,
No.
Commissioner Chairman Skolnick,
Yes,
7 yes, 2 no on the amendment.
okay.
No, on the motion.
Wait a minute. What just happened there?
There's no amendment.
Did we just,
Everything's fine.
Now you can move on to new business, Bob.
yeah, I'm just confused. We're done with that, right? We didn't.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
yeah. Okay. And new business, Mark, do we still have to do this one?
Yeah, because this is
Yes.
something different. It's the in-home care support. So you have to
Yeah.
decide whether or not you're going to give it to them or go out for an RFP.
Okay, so this is.
So read the motion first.
Okay, so the item is to authorize staff to solicit bids for a 3-year contract for fiscal year 22, fiscal year 23, and fiscal year 24 for the senior millage funding awards for continuation of the in-home care and supports coordination. The RFP is open to all potential providers, including Senior Resources.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Pego.
so can we change this to a one-year contract? To
We're,
coalesce?
we're just soliciting bids. We're not awarding a contract to anybody. We're looking to see what's out there.
Bids for a 3-year contract. Can we change that to solicit bids for a one-year
No,
contract?
there's no,
I'm sorry, Mike?
As I understand it, there's a motion and support. If there are going to be amendments made to that motion, there is a manner in which that is done, and that is by motion and support.
We're discussing, so I'm asking if the person who approved the. I didn't,
Okay, so we just, the motion has been made to go ahead with this for now, and it's been supported. This also would be covered by the 90-day out provision. So if we got into this and it wasn't, we're not even getting into it. We're just asking to see what we're looking at, who can do it and how much it's going to cost. And if we go ahead with this, they're going to bid on a 3-year contract. We can always go back with a shorter contract. If nothing else, we have a 90-day out no matter what happens.
not how you do business. You don't ask for, you don't solicit a bid for a 3-year contract and say, oh, wait, no, we want to change this to 1 year now. That's not good business.
Bob, I have a comment on that
Bob?
too.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Susie?
I too have some concerns about this because we have had some of the municipalities step up and say they would really be interested in working with the vendors in using some of the senior millage money that we have to contract their own vendors to help their residents. And I would like to see if we could do that before we go out for bids and put money into a sports
Susie,
coordination event.
I understand what you're trying to do there. There's 27 municipalities. So you're proposing that all 27 municipalities do this. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Right, and
sorry.
some of them can go together if they wanted to.
But from Mr. Skolnick,
Yes, go ahead, Mark.
yeah, I don't think there would be many municipalities that would know how to do this or that would have that would do it efficiently. Senior Resources has been doing this for decades. This is their expertise. I mean, people can always hire in-home services on their own. That's not a problem. Nobody's preventing that from happening. It's just that if they want to use millage money, it has to go through Senior Resources. At least that's my understanding.
Well, I know we gave our municipalities a bunch of money last year. Why couldn't we up
Yeah.
that and let them handle it?
Because
Okay.
I don't think most of them can do it.
Well, Marcia, it also, Susie, a small municipality, how are they gonna have somebody to do it and check to make sure the work is done?
I don't
This
think.
really, that makes no sense to divide this into 10
No,
or
it doesn't.
15 pieces. I understand you want to get it down to the lowest level. I understand that, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I think we're putting the cart before the horse, because this is really just a motion to solicit for bids for this contract. We haven't made that decision yet. We can have this kind of discussion once they come back. But
Then
we're just trying to get this out there so we can get this contract figured out who we're going to give it to.
I
Okay.
agree with you, Charles, but could I would like to make an amendment that makes this a 1 year instead of a 3 year.
I second that. I don't know if you can hear me.
Being a motion maker, I wouldn't accept that amendment.
So basically that means for just a few months.
No, it's not. We're going
By
out
the
for a
time we
brand new
get this
bid.
decided, it would be ending in September.
No, it's a 3 year contract. It starts whenever we sign the contract. It would be a 1 year
But she
contract.
wanted it
whenever
a
we sign
1 year
it.
contract.
But then when we sign it, the year starts.
May I, this, Mark, this will take a few months to get through it, and currently we have a month to month with them, so the service will continue on the month to month, unless someone cancels, obviously. So we're covered until we bring this back with a recommendation.
Can we clarify that it is just to solicit bids for a contract and we're only taking the solicitation to bid for a 3-year contract down to solicit a bid for a 1 year contract? That's what Mr. Nash and Mr. Hughes just amended.
I'm sorry, I just said that I was not accepting an amendment.
Oh, you did not accept it. I'm
No.
sorry.
And there's more to this. Whoever bids on this, they're gonna have to hire some people to do this. So it's a 1 year contract. I mean, it just doesn't.
Bob, I don't know why you think they'd have to hire somebody, because there are people out there. Senior Resources is not doing the work themselves. They're hiring people that are out there. So there already are people out
They're
there.
providing the coordination.
Right,
It's
they're
different than
coordinating it.
providing the service.
So can I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Melinda.
The one that made the motion and supported the original motion, was that Nash and Mrs. Hughes?
I made the original motion. I'm not sure who seconded.
I think it was Susie. Was that correct?
I think so.
Work.
Susie, if you withdraw your motion, he would need another second. Maybe we can make a motion to do a 1 year contract. A solicit bids for a 1 year contract, I mean.
I'm sorry, it makes no sense to put out a RFP for a contract for this kind of, I mean, this is a pretty big deal. This is a pretty big service. And to do it just for, like Bob said, to have to hire staff and whatnot, you know, it doesn't make sense to have it for 1 year.
All right, so let's move ahead with this.
Could we change it to say up to a 3 year contract? So if
Yes.
somebody wanted to try it for a year?
Yeah, that solves the problem, right there.
Okay, that's okay.
I would make a motion to amend that to up to a 3 year contract.
Well, Charles has to do that.
Okay.
Sorry, Charles, what do you think?
Yeah, we can do the up to 3 years.
Okay, so to authorize staff to solicit bids for up to a 3 year contract. Okay, well, you have this in a recording, so worst that'll happen is you'll have to go back and listen to the recording. Okay, so could somebody read back just so we all know what we're voting on here?
You want me to read this?
Yeah, just,
Move to authorize staff to solicit bids for a up to 3-year contract for fiscal years 22, 23, and 24 for the senior millage funding awards for continuation of the in-home care and supports coordination. The RFP is open to all potential providers, including senior resources.
okay. All right, so Linda, you got any roll call sheets left? Go ahead.
Sorry, who supported that motion?
Commissioner,
Who did? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Commissioner Hovey Wright supported the original
Okay,
motion.
so it's Mr. Nash and Mrs. Hovey Wright.
Yeah.
Okay. Linda, if you're still here.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Pass.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
No.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
No.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
7 yes, 2 no.
Okay. So that passes. Now we have, well, I'd like to take this off. Now we have public comment.
Okay.
Is there anybody left? Yeah, there's still people there. Lisa Tyler. Who's ever controlling the muting?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Mr. Skolnick?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, Lisa Tyler, Norton Shores. I'm also the Communications Director for Senior Resources. In full disclosure, I want to discuss, try to clarify a couple of things that both some commissioners and audience members seem to not be clear on. First of all, thank you for some level of trust for the next months, or I guess months through the end of this year, for the work that we have been doing for the last 3.5 years and have done for 47 years in this county. I want to note a couple of things. The county is the fiduciary for the senior millage. It is not Senior Resources. It's very clear. We tell people that all the time. We solely administer the grants. That does not include the 25% of funding that comes through municipalities. There were comments made about minutes and things, and our responsibility to put the minutes up on the website. I have actually asked staff at the county to have at least a link to the website page that we do have that has a lot of information on it, but there is no information on the county website. That is not an obligation of ours. People who apply for grants do go through a very rigorous process that is different than the municipal funding, and that was intended that way when the municipal funding was proposed. Senior Resources also does not get a vote on any of the decisions that are made for those grants. We are strictly there as an advisory. That is up to the 9 members of the committee to recommend to you, the 9 commissioners. We do not do programs. The whole thing about item 13 with the in-home services, we do coordinate it. It is a very involved process. We have 10 to 15 people minimum who are touching that, because we have people dedicated to that coordination, and we are not charging administration for the work that we already do for this with state and federal money. We do that work. There are well over 100 contractors we are working for. It is not an easy process. I will yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Okay. Aslyn Scott.
Yes, Aslyn Scott, Norton Shores, and I am representing Muskegon Rotary. I'm a Rotarian. I'd like to read a letter, and I'll start now. At a time when hostility seems to be spreading, all that is necessary for evil to triumph is that good men do nothing. Those words by Edmund Burke move us to step forward. We realize that silence appears to be acceptance, and we also recognize that we can and must stand against those who seek to tear down our community. We do not accept hate, and we will not be silent. Yes, we're speaking against hatred and bigotry, but just as importantly, we're speaking for love and respect. Hatred and bigotry are not welcome in our neighborhoods, schools, workplaces, or Muskegon community. Our economic well-being rests on our interconnectedness, and we cannot thrive if others are excluded. It matters not your race, your ethnicity, country of origin, faith, or sexual or affectional orientation. We are all here on this earth for a purpose. We all share our love for our families. We all want to live the American dream. We all aspire to be the best that we can be. We must acknowledge that differences, whatever they are, we have whatever we have with those that do not look or speak or love the way we do are greatly outweighed by what we do have in common. Today and always, we stand against hate and for each other. We commit ourselves to difficult conversations that bring better understanding and cohesiveness to our community. We commit to active listening that respects other viewpoints without belittling or degrading. We commit to continuous respectful behavior, compassionate listening, and recognition of our individual and collective responsibility to harmony and justice in all of Muskegon County. We respect a variety of conversations and cultures where everyone feels welcome to share their contributions, making us all stronger together and moving forward with hope and peace in Muskegon County.
Thank you, Aslan. Jason Hall, you should be unmuted in a minute and the timer will be reset. Okay, Jason.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Chairman Skolnick, I want to thank you for your vote today. We kind of got this thing off the table and everybody can kind of take a breath. I do wish to redirect back to the criminal act that I saw occur in regards to Michigan Code 750478A. The legal process of intimidating and obstructing a public officer. Ms. Wright knows that the commissioners that she was directing her comments to are in regards to you, the chairman, before a vote. She knows that they're exempt. She has law or rule number 1. She knows that they are exempt from you wearing a mask inside the boardroom. Her first occurrence of doing it is actually a misdemeanor. But she brought it up again, which actually is a felony now. I will allow you time to address the issue before I file the felony charges myself. But as chairman, I believe you have the responsibility of conducting this meeting, not me. But I don't appreciate intimidation towards commissioners, right or wrong, in whoever's eyes. But again, MCL 750 478A. The prosecutor's office was on the call during the time, so they are a witness. And of course, we have corporate counsel. I'll yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Okay, Amy Gloria. Just give us a second here to reset the timer and you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening. So I just really wanted to reassure the commissioners that Senior Resources receives no financial gain for doing the work of in-home service coordination. We're really just offering the county and the constituents of the county the benefit of dovetailing on the exact work that we already do with some other funding sources, the infrastructure that we've built, the processes that we've built. It might sound on the onset, somewhat simple to make a connection with providers and get the services coordinated, but really it takes a huge amount of time, knowledge, and infrastructure related to service standards, insurance, ensuring that people have insurances, and then making sure that we're finding the seniors in the county that are eligible for the services, and we're not just providing services to anyone because it's a nice thing to do. So I just really want to assure the commissioners that there's nothing in this for Senior Resources aside from a healthy aging network and good services through the millage dollars. And I yield the rest of my time.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Next up was Angela R. So Angela, you should be unmuted. There you go. Angela, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I just wanted to say thank you to all the commissioners for voting yes to pass the resolution to ban the vaccine passports. While I know the ones who voted no are disappointed, I very much appreciate that there is still the choice. So you guys still have the choice in getting your vaccines, just as we have the choice not to if we do not feel comfortable at this point. And I think this is a huge step forward for you guys being the pioneering entity doing this for our whole entire state. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Sean Campbell, just give her a second there. You should be unmuted. Okay, could we unmute Sean Campbell, please? You know what, Michelle Burley, they've unmuted you, so you're next anyway. Why don't you go ahead and speak?
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to talk as a Rotarian, that I wanted to support what Aslan Scott read and just let people know that what she read, which she did very quickly in 2 minutes, was the love lives here statement. And that statement was initially in response to some acts of bigotry that occurred in Muskegon County. And at the time, we, as a Rotary Committee and as the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, we were able to get over 100 people, community leaders, to sign on to that. And some of you are some of those people. So I just want to go on record as supporting that. And a lot of heated discussions happen at this committee, at this board meeting. A lot of people go back and forth, and I just want to make sure that we are not being silent when it comes to bigotry, and that we are not accepting hate, and that we are supporting everyone in this community.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. I also want to commend Michelle Burley for being one of the people that spent a chunk of a day out at Pioneer Park helping clean it up. So Michelle, thank you for that. All right, that's the end of public comments. Final board comments.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Nash.
I would like to make a motion that we pass a resolution in support of our county clerk and the entire.
Point of order, that we're past business. This is Commissioner comments.
Yeah, can I finish my comment?
Yeah, you're not making a motion, you're just making a comment, correct?
I would like for us to have this referred back to the committee so that we can make a resolution to support our county clerk and the entire clerk staff for their tireless efforts that they performed throughout this pandemic season and going above and beyond the call of duty in supporting and providing services to our community.
Okay, thank you.
Great
Mr.
idea.
Nash. I agree. Anybody else? If not, we have a closed session. I believe we need to make, we need a motion to go in a closed session.
Correct.
Okay, so.
I'll make a motion to go into closed section pursuant to MCL 15. You guys took it away as I'm trying to read it, but according to that that motion.
Okay,
Here it
so,
comes.
yeah, it'll be in.
Yeah, MCL 15.268H to discuss a confidential written legal opinion with the county's attorney.
Okay, support anyone?
Support.
Okay, Charles Nash supported it. So we had a motion, it's been supported.
Zach left the.
Linda, another roll call, please.
Commissioner Steer,
Yes.
Commissioner Hubby Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes, so of course they double the price.
Chairman,
Wait a minute, who's that? Doug?
Yes.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay, so we'll go into close. So I don't know who's doing that. You'll get us out of here, go into the closed session.
So it should be asking you now.
Yeah, yep, it should be on your screen. Join the closed session.
Commissioner Skolnick, you're on mute.
I'm muted. Okay, Commissioner Pego?
No, we gotta take a motion first to go back. to
No, we gotta have a motion to go into open session.
I'll
Okay,
make a motion to go into open session.
Second.
okay.
Second.
So
We have a motion by Charles Nash to go back into open session. And Linda, if you're still awake, roll call.
Commissioner Heavy Right,
Marcia,
Right,
you're muted, Marcia.
Is this Pago's motion to,
No, this is.
No.
Open session.
oh, yes, sorry.
Commissioner Hughes,
It looks like when we back into open session, a lot of people got muted. No, now they're gone. Okay. Steve, you're muted.
Susie. Susie.
Melinda, you're muted.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Chair Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins, Commissioner Brown,
yes.
Commissioner Steer,
Yes.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay. Now, Commissioner Pego, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we file a suit and we enter into litigation.
With Mr. Grimm.
Is there support?
Yes, I second.
Okay. So Commissioner Pego made a motion to, what was the term he used?
File a suit and enter into litigation.
Okay, litigation. Okay, supported by Commissioner Laring. So is there anything else or we'll vote?
Let's
Linda,
vote.
let's vote.
Commissioner Hughes,
No.
Wait, a yes means litigate, a no means we'll do something else. Okay,
No.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
No.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Steer,
Yes.
Commissioner Heavy Right,
No.
Chairman Skolnick,
no.
4 yes, 5 no.
Okay. All right, so Marcia, who's making the motion, the next motion?
Susie?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
No.
No.
Second.
Don't do that.
We're gonna make a motion to
It was already
settle,
motioned and second to adjourn.
Okay, I'll make a motion to
authorize.
authorize
Oh,
the,
wait, we have a motion and a second on the floor. She made a motion to adjourn. I seconded it. So we have a motion on the floor. You either need to withdraw your motion, Susie, or
I'll withdraw my motion.
Wait a minute, what is the motion?
I'm withdrawing my motion to adjourn. I thought we were done because that failed. So I will withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, may I say something before the next matter?
Yes,
the next
please,
motion?
Mr. Grimm, yes.
Frankly, I don't think we need another motion based on the result of this.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so
That's what I thought too.
that solves that.
Then I will restate my motion to adjourn.
I second.
Well,
Okay,
Oh.
it's at the chair's discretion.
Go ahead and call.
And we're adjourned.
Hold on, Mr.
well,
Chair.
I have a, go ahead.
I need to make sure we're doing the right thing, because I do believe that we have to authorize the direction of our attorney.
But our attorney just said that with the first motion defeated, we authorized
I
it.
understand. No, not necessarily.
Yeah, that doesn't.
So you're
seem-
smarter than the attorney now, Charles? You don't listen to him before, and now you're smarter than him. He just told you what to do.
Wait, Steve, do you do any municipal work?
I don't do enough to consider myself an expert in it. But I think that if you want to wait a second, I can see if I can get Dusmer or Homier on the phone.
Okay.
I will make a motion to ask their corporate counsel to settle.
Mark, can you text him?
Yes, I'm on it already. He's on, he's listening. They've heard a response.
Mike, are you there? He's muted.
So Mike said I would provide the county's council with specific directions. So go ahead and make the motion, Susan.
I will make the motion to ask our corporate counsel to move forward with settlement.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to proceed with attempting to settle it. It's been seconded. Is there, I think we beat this to death. Linda, could you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Laring,
No.
Vice Chair Nash,
We have no choice.
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
No.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yeah,
pardon?
Yeah, what, Doug, I didn't, it wasn't clear. You sort of said
yes,
no.
yes.
You pot liquor.
Commissioner Spear,
No.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes. Oh my God, it's 6-3.
3-0.
Way to go, Dougie.
Okay.
I personally am offended by the language that Commissioner Laring just used.
Well,
with an
I'm
open
like,
mic.
I'm
Adjourn,
confused. So
please.
All right,
we
we can
decided to
adjourn
vote. All right.
to the call of the chair. I move we're adjourned.
All right.
Thank you all for
Guys,
this record meeting.